The review is in the books, and now it's time to talk spoilers. So strap in as we dive headfirst into all the juicy details on Insomniac's new epic, because this is the XP Podcast. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. What's up, Internet? And welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 66 for the first week of November 2023. I'm your host, Mike Z, and joining me once again, as always, every time, all the time, the Birdman himself, Logan B. I don't know when I started doing that, but it flows so well.
Yes.
It's so good. I don't know when I started doing it.
It might have been when the comeback, the big comeback,
No,
two month gap.
It was way before that, man.
Yeah.
Because you remember I used to write like stupid little intros for it because I thought it was clever, and then I just started saying that, and it just works. Anyway, what's up, man? Welcome.
Well, thank you for welcoming me to the XP podcast.
I mean, it's ours, so
I'm the guest, I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
Oh, speaking of guests, Andrew was lobbying heavily to be a part of this one because he wants to talk about the game, and he doesn't think you deserve to because you haven't platinumed it. So his words, not mine. Maybe kind of my words too. So,
this is democracy, and now I vote him off. He is no longer.
It's like the Survivor.
I was gonna do the platinum, but then I got lazy and I said, I don't really care.
It's literally not a hard platinum at all. It's actually really easy.
I know. Well, after you told me you didn't even have to actually complete all the things too, I was like, okay, maybe.
No, you do.
Maybe.
You have to complete everything.
I thought you said you didn't have to do all the side activities.
No, you have to do every single one.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. All right.
It takes like 10 minutes to clean up most.
It's not. Yeah, that's a chore that I have to do, and I'm good. I'm good. I don't play games to make a chore for myself.
It's not a chore.
I'm sorry. Nothing against people that like trophies and that. I fine. That's good. Okay, so
you want to talk about a chore? The game I'm playing for the game I'm currently trying to platinum. That's a fucking chore. Excuse me. That's a chore.
Is that Witcher?
No, it's Gotham Knights.
Oh no. Oh, Gotham Knights. Oh god.
That's a chore.
Well, I had a pretty good week-ish. Kind of, yeah. Pretty busy week. Other than that, Friday I went to a Blues game, which is our hockey team in St. Louis. And we won. So that was a good game. It was us versus the New Jersey Devils. We kicked ass. We got 4-1. It was awesome. It was a good game. And then supposedly yesterday as well, we were facing the Canadians, I think is how you say it. It was 6-3. So, if you're a Blues fan, good to be around right now because we're winning some games. So
good to be a Blues fan.
Yes. But other than that, yesterday went to a bunch of wineries. That was kind of fun. Hanging out with friends, stayed at an Airbnb. So, and that pretty good week. So, what about you, Mike?
Yeah, week was fine. I didn't really do too much. I watched a lot of stuff, which we'll get to here momentarily. But work sucked ass this weekend, man. I'm tired. Yeah, we're flipping all the tables for getting ready for Christmas trees coming in. We got them coming in this coming weekend. So I have been carrying cinder blocks for 3 straight days for about 6 hours a day. So to say my hands and my back's a little sore, whatever. And then I tweaked my back today. That was my fault. I was trying to be stupid and carrying this table in the most awkward way, and I realized I'm old, so I can't do what I used to always do. So that was my fault, but whatever. There's a little stretch here and there, So if you see me randomly stretching throughout the episode, just know I'm old. Y'all.
No, I just figured you're trying to flex. I know.
No, okay. So I have done that stretch for probably going on like 15 years now. I kind of do this, and I'm like that. I'm not actually flexing. It's like the greatest back stretch ever because I'm like pulling the shoulder blade up when I do it, but it does look like I'm flexing. And people have always made fun of me, and I'm like, no, I really am stretching my back, and I've done that for a long time. I've done that since way before I even met you. And man, if you can get that muscle flexed out right, and you stretch that back, oh man, It feels beautiful. But yes, no, people make fun of me. They're like, Mike, you're always flexing. I'm like, when I went to the gym, I was flexing a lot, but I ain't going to the gym right now. I got too many damn games to play. So,
That's
choices,
fair.
choices we make in life. I'm gonna go to that cruise looking like a fucking walrus on the side of that pool.
You're on a
Uh,
cruise. Who cares?
I do, but it's literally
That's
it's all
fair.
that matters. I do, but what's whatever. My depression aside. Anyway, what's going on, man? I already said that. Welcome to the show. Let's get into the
Yeah.
show as we do each and every week. We start with the question of the week. This week's question comes from the audience. I'm just kidding. We don't have an audience. It comes from me. I thought of it. So, anyway, Mr. Birdman, what is your favorite quote unquote bought on a win game, bought on a whim game that you've ever played?
Okay.
Okay.
Um, for me, it's gonna probably be Life is Strange. That's my probably bought on a whim kind of game.
Bought on a whim.
I yeah, because it was on the I think it was back at either the beginning of college or towards the end of high school for me. I was it had like Xbox was having a sale at the time, and I saw Life is Strange, which I've heard is a lot of good things about, but I again didn't watch anything about it, nothing like that, and it was for like $5. And I'm like, I mean, it's $5, you know? And I ended up loving the game so much that, man, I honestly, if it was more than $5, I would have totally bought it. But I just didn't know much about it. And so, yeah, I bought it on a whim, and I ended up really loving the game, which is funny because I've never played another Life is Strange game since, which is weird because I would love to. I just, for some reason, haven't done it because I like Life is Strange 1, and I want to play the other ones at least to give them a try. I don't want to look up reviews or anything. I just kind of want to see for myself. Though I did hear the kind of prequel one that came out wasn't too good, but I also really didn't care about that character that much, so
No.
I kind of don't care
I
to play
personally
that
think
one.
I personally think Before the Storm is really good, the prequel. The
It
second
is
one I did not
okay.
like really. I thought the characters and stories were real bad in the second one. The new one, True Colors, is pretty darn good. Although I've only played the first two
Okay.
episodes. I got distracted, but yeah, from what I played of it, really darn good. Really good characters. But yeah, I personally thought the second one was a letdown. I thought Before the Storm was pretty enjoyable, but I also did like that character in the first game. So I guess if you don't,
That's fair.
then it's like, if you don't like Spider-Man and you play the new Spider-Man game and you're like, I don't like this character. It's like, well, yeah, duh.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that's cool. Yeah, I love Life is Strange. I love Telltale. I love all those types of games. Speaking randomly, did you know there's a new coming out next week, I think? Yeah, there's a new visual novel RPG based off Adam and Eve's character from the Invincible coming out. Did not know
Really?
this until last night when I wrote the script. Yeah, it's coming out not
No.
this coming week that we're talking about. Next week it's coming out. So I guess 2 weeks from today. Or 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from this week. I don't know what I'm saying, dude. It's been a long fucking weekend.
Are you sure? Wait.
Yeah, it's called well, I don't remember what it's called, but it's called something. I saw it on Game Informer. I looked it up. Un momento. It is called Invincible Presents Adam Eve. Coming to PC, Steam, November 14th.
Okay.
I mean, it's a visual novel. So if you don't like visual novels, but it's a visual novel where you like make decisions and there's like a whole RPG tree, and it makes sense for this type of game to be a visual novel because it's based off a graphic novel. So I might give it a shot. I don't know.
Oh. Oh no.
Do you not know what visual novel means?
Oh no, no. What I meant was look at the first screenshot they show on Steam, man. Characters look real weird. That's all I gotta say.
Well, they look more like the graphic novel counterparts than the TV show.
No, well, I don't know. I
I
get
mean,
maybe, yeah,
I
maybe you're right on that. I guess I haven't read the comic book, so
I mean, I watched there was a Game Informer did a gameplay thing for it, and I looked. I'm like, I think that looked good.
huh.
I mean,
Eve just looks weird. Like her face looks really weird. So I guess that's the comic book version of her because she looks way different than her.
It's a little bit more angular.
She's actually the only one that looks weird. Literally everyone else looks like their show. She just has the first screenshot on Steam. She just looks really really weird. I don't know why. But okay, we're getting way off topic. Sorry. I was curious now because like that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna check it out. I don't mind visual novels. I don't love them. I get kind of bored of them sometimes.
If you get to make decisions,
yeah, you do.
I mean, that's cool.
I mean, that's visual novels. You always get to make decisions. What do you think of visual novels? You just sit there and watch it play out?
Well, you don't really. I mean, it depends also how many decisions you get to make too. So.
I don't think you play a visual novel, Logan.
No, I haven't because I'm not a visual novel person.
All right. Anyway, yeah, I have two bought on the win games. One from my adulthood where I actually bought the game, and another one where my dear departed. I'm just kidding, she's not dead. My mom bought it for me. That'd be a crazy way to let Logan know my mom died. Just nothing. Jeez. He had no information. Just
all right.
Heartless. Hey, it can't be any worse than how we started last episode talking about how you may have possibly been having intercourse with my soon-to-be fiance.
My God.
So,
jeez,
I'm gonna show her the start of that episode without any context. Just say, "Hey, watch this and let me know how it sounds." See what she has to say. But anyway, yeah. So my adult game that I purchased, Mad Max. Mad Max was a game that I saw on sale, and I love Mad Max as a movie franchise, but I never didn't even know this game existed. And it also had the worst release date almost in history. Probably only beaten out by Titanfall 2 because it came out the exact same day as Metal Gear Solid 5. One of the worst release dates of all time.
Yeah.
But anyway, I sat down, I played it, and I fucking love the Mad Max game, dude. I don't know if you've ever played it from Avalanche Studios, the people who did Just Cause. They're doing Contraband for Xbox right now. And then they also did Rage 2, which wasn't great, but they did it. So not the other Avalanche Studios that did Hogwarts Legacy, the other one.
And Cars 3, yeah.
Yeah, why can't I think one's Avalanche Studios and the other one's Avalanche Software because
I think so, yeah.
Copyright, I guess. But yeah, no, dude, that game was sick, dude, man. The car combat, the open world, while yes, tedious, it's a post-apocalyptic desert, so but I thought it was really enjoyable. The combat was awesome, super punchy. Essentially, think adult Batman, where you're cutting people's heads off, but the exact same style of like counter attack, special move. It's great. I love that game. And then as a child, I guess not child. I was young adult, kind of. No, I guess I was probably like a teenager. But anyway, I was walking around GameStop and I saw this game. I was like, well, this cover looks really, really cool. And that's all I ever knew about it because I wasn't as deep into gaming back then, obviously, that I am now. It's a game called God Hand. I think I've talked about it on the show before. I think I've showed Logan, but it's.
Oh, you talking about the one that your mom bought you?
Yeah.
We've had this question before.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have. We literally had a question where I put out, what's one game that you were really surprised about that someone bought you for that you didn't think you would like? And you talked about this game.
Oh, well, I guess it applies to both questions because this is technically bought on a whim, and that one's that you didn't know you would like. So I guess that kind of works. But anyway, God Hand's awesome, man. It's done by the same guy who created Resident Evil, Shinji Mikami. If you haven't played God Hand, you don't really have a chance to anymore because when I was writing this question, I was talking to Andrew about it. I'm like, let me go buy a copy real quick. Went to eBay, typed in God Hand, cheapest one I found, $189. I'm like, never mind, not buying God Hand. Apparently, it's a very rare game, so that one's lost the whims. I guess it's not. I owned it at one point in time, so do you think it's still kind of a legal gray area to what's the E word? Like PS,
I have no idea.
Like PCX2 emulator. There we go.
Oh yeah.
I owned it at one point, so is that like it's kind of a legal gray area for emulation, right? I don't own it currently, but at one point I did.
Or you do own it.
I own it up here. Does that count?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, Mad Max is great. Life is Strange is great. God Hand is great if you have a surplus of money and want to spend it on a PS2 game. Go ahead and go to eBay and buy. Apparently, there's like kind of like a foil engraved version of it. Or not engraved, the one that bumps up, not depressed. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, that was like $400. And I'm like, why did I?
It's about the steel book. Is that what you're saying?
No, it wasn't steel, but like the actual like writing on the like plastic cover, embossed. Embossed is what it is, not engraved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was embossed and it was like $400. And there's just more proof. Why did I ever trade anything in? You know how much money I would have on this shelf if I didn't trade anything in, dude.
That's what every kid says. Trust me, I feel that.
The one that hurts the worst is my dad. My dad, when he was younger, he didn't love
You sold
comic.
your dad?
Huh? I sold my dad. No.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I traded him in.
Sorry.
Traded him in, upgraded, you know?
Yeah.
Dad, you're great, man. I can't upgrade you. You're awesome. But no, he when he was younger, he didn't love comics that much, but he did like them, and his parents occasionally bought him one. And he tells the story all the time, and he gets so mad. He had pretty much everything in this box underneath his bed, and he was away at college, and his mom just went in there and I guess just got rid of a bunch of them. You want to know what one of the ones that was sitting in there?
What?
The Incredible Hulk #1.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like $10,000+ comic book right now. And my dad was like, "Son of a bitch, are you kidding me?" I couldn't. He doesn't remember if it was first edition or a variant cover or what. But even the variant covers go for multiple thousands of dollars at this point. So yeah, it was a #1, issue 1, The Incredible Hulk. I'm like, man, that sucks. That real sucks, dude. That's kind of why I wish I was born a little earlier, so I could have been a bit like if I was born in the let's say I was born in 1964. I don't know. I could have been there for the Amazing Fantasy 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
That one's worth a lot, by the way.
No, I'm sure it is.
First appearances are worth an incredible, dude. Like the first appearance of Batman and Superman, millions of dollars. It's ridiculous. Anyway, how about you figure your shit out, Logan, and let's get into the show, huh?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is, in fact, the XP Podcast, a weekly video game pop culture podcast where Logan and myself, and sometimes other people, not Andrew, because we don't like him, sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every week, so you can listen to it wherever you want or whenever you get a chance. You can find us on most of the popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you are enjoying what we're doing here on the XP Podcast, don't know what I said there, please support us over on Patreon, where you get to be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, in the description down below, or you can simply go to patreon.com and search Experience Point, spelled capital X, capital P, ERIENCEPOINT. However, if you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry. We still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of what is hopefully a growing community. You can also go to our YouTube channel and get this show and all of our shows in video format. If you do, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. Previously on the XP Podcast. You told me to do it, so I'm trying it out.
That's fair, yeah.
Last week we talked about Marvel's Spider-Man. Sorry, last week we gave you a review for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Spoiler alert, I gave it an A. Logan gave it a B. And that's always have to say. Yeah, here's the thing. I want to take back my A+ because I know we said we weren't going to do that. We can just say we gave it an A, but it's a high A. That's just what I said. I
gave it a high B then.
Yeah, you remember how we talked about we don't want to get into the minutia. That's why we took away the numbers because there was too much minutia.
Yeah.
And then we got right back into the minutia by giving it A+ and B- and shit like that. So, high A, high B. All right. We also said goodbye to our dearly beloved Spider Cube. Xbox had its partner stream and we reacted to it and so much more. But with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's show. In our point of the show, we are giving you a spoiler cast for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And a quick side note, I know we promised last week we would do it in the middle of the week, but throughout this week, there was literally no news stories at all that was worth talking about, so we decided to just make this part of the main show. In Around the Point, Far Cry's new multiplayer game is yet another extraction shooter. The saga of the day before continues. And we talk about Insomniac tickling our balls once more. Then in LTR, we dive into reviews for this week's games. But before we get to all that, it's time for it is and forever will be the rundown, where we catch up on all things pop culture that we've been doing, whether that be gaming, TV shows, books, comics, movies, whatever it is. We love to talk about it. We like to talk about it. Wait, what did I say? We like it all and love to talk about it. There we go, Mr. Birdman. What have you been doing?
Well, surprisingly, not a lot. I'm starting to realize I haven't really done a lot this week.
I did a bunch this week.
For some reason, I don't. If I did do something else, I do not remember doing whatever I did. So basically, I did this week.
I got all my homework done on Monday night, so literally I had just nothing but free time all week.
Well, me and Mike, we could team up on this one. I played the finals, so now we can finally talk about it. Because I ended up downloading it on my PC when we were recording last, and I believe on either Monday or Tuesday we got on and played. Yeah, it was Tuesday because it was Halloween. I remember specifically.
Yeah, because I got dirty looks for the next 3 hours because of you, fucker.
Yeah, it happens.
Had plans.
Yeah.
Plans.
Fair. But well, you could have canceled it, or you didn't have to, but it's okay.
No, it was actually Andrew's fault because he changed the fucking plan to appease you. Fucking suck up, Andrew. By the way, I've mentioned you 4 times now this episode. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Not you. Okay, I was talking to Andrew.
No. So yeah, we played the finals beta, and we got our ass whooped a lot. I'll tell you that. But also, it just takes a little bit to get used to the game because
also,
the
Andrew
thing
sucks.
Yeah, but what's also the thing about the finals that people probably need to know about this if you haven't played it already. It's very teamwork heavy, like heavy teamwork. Like you can't just slack off, split up from your team.
Based.
You're very much objective based because this is not about how many kills you get in the game. It doesn't matter. That's not how you win. It's a matter of you completing the objectives and basically defending them, whether it be the quick cash mode or the what? What?
You just said weather, not weather.
Weather
at me.
Whatever.
All right, Shakespeare.
Well, god damn it! I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, finals. It's really fun. Like at first we weren't having a great time because I think we kind of all were a little bit switched up on what kind of characters we were wanting to be. I jumped in pretty quickly with playing as a heavy, same as Mike, and then Andrew decided to play as the medium. And as we've said multiple times, Andrew is really horrible at being a teammate. Is the best way to go with this. So we switch things around. I am one of the people that I enjoy being a support character. Like I enjoy either one. I enjoy being in the combat, but I also enjoy being a support character. So I switched to medium. And basically the medium is the equivalent of like a medic or a support character in like most shooters, like the Doc from Team Fortress 2. And then I could tell Mike usually in most games likes to be the heavy. He likes to be the one that takes all the hits. From at least what I've seen, all the air games we played,
okay,
you usually play heavy.
I do enjoy playing medic. I usually play medic in Battlefield actually.
Okay, well Battlefield, yeah.
But it's not that I like to be the heavy and take a lot of hits. It's that I play video games with a reckless abandon. So I'm just always there in the middle of everything. Even though sometimes I don't actually mean to. I feel like I just walk around the corner and get shot sometimes. And I'm like, hey, they're over here. I'm dying. Come save me. But yes, I do play video games with reckless abandon sometimes. And I'm not even that good at them, which is funny.
Yeah, and then so Andrew himself is also pretty He likes to be quick, but also seems like he always thinks he has a lot of health. So he ended up being a heavy as well. And honestly, it seems like the way to play the finals so far is 2 heavies, 1 medium. That seems to be the key. Because
At
for
least
a
for
while
us.
there, it was really rough for us for a while there because we kept like spawning in and then we had no communication on which one we were going to. And then Mike would die and he's like so far away from us, or Andrew will be doing something or jumping off of a cliff like 4 times in a row as we watch him do it multiple times. And it wasn't until towards the end of the night that we really started to get a hold of things and understand the objectives and how to play them correctly. And when we did, it was really, really fun. And I'm interested to see where this goes. It really just depends on them adding way more maps because right now it's only like 2, maybe 3 maps, and only 2 modes. And I think the modes are really fun and they're very dynamic, and I feel like there's a lot of ways they can go, but that still doesn't cover the fact that you need more maps because the maps are just kind of like there's only like 2 or 3. So, and again, I know this is a beta, or on PC it's called a play test. It's kind of weird. Um, but yeah, add more maps, like, and I also, if you're playing medium, unlock the scar because holy shit is the scar so good. Because when we got towards the end, Mike even looked at my kill feed. I was getting like 10 kills. Like that gun rocks. Compared to the AK you start with, dude, this scar is just the best.
Oh, and if you play with the heavy,
Go
get the
for it.
shotgun way better than the
Yeah.
MG. The MG is, dude, it
The MG's
bounces.
so crappy, dude. The reticle doesn't even seem like it's actually like aligned properly. Like you're just shooting it, and yeah, and then the reload is so fucking slow, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, I can't stand the. I thought I was gonna like the heavy, and I like the heavy for the destruction purpose. Like he's fun to charge through stuff and all that, but when it comes to like his weapon, his main weapon you start with, sucks. It's awful. I hate the heavy machine gun. It takes like half of a mag to kill one person with that thing. It's horrible.
Unless you're
Uh,
me and you're playing the small guy, and then people can kill me in a wet fart, it feels like
yes.
sometimes. I died so much, dude. And what was funny is before you got on, when Andrew and I played the other night, I played as the light guy, and it was a different map. It was a lot more in and out than the open, more like house-based map. And
Yeah.
I had a real good time. I was zipping in and out. I could climb really quickly with the grappling hook. So maybe it's all map based. But my overall thoughts on the finals beta after 3 nights of playing it, one with Andrew, well, 2 with Andrew, 1 with you, 1 by myself. Um, I can say that I came out of it more excited for this than I am X Defiant now.
Oh yeah.
After playing both betas, I think this is a much more polished product that has the chance to be interesting. But yes, man, it needs this one in particular needs a shit ton, in my opinion, of different types to play it. Where something like X Defiant can, I think, get away with less modes because it's more kill based and it's more just like basic normal kind of Call of Duty type rinse and repeat. Where how many nights do we play Call of Duty where we mix in like 2 or 3 modes and we were perfectly
Yeah.
happy. We were perfectly happy with that because those are the modes we like. And I think X Defiant kind of plays in that same capture kind of domination TDK. That's not right. Yeah, TDK. Yeah. No, TDM. Sorry. There we go.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And this is all objective based, which is really cool. But like I said, I mean, I don't know if you felt it, but I mean, even the night that we played for like 3 hours, 3-ish hours, something like that. And by the end of it, I was like, "Yo, I'm pretty bored, guys. I don't want to do this no more." So,
I just think they need. The problem with it is the 2 modes they have are so similar that it doesn't seem like there's much variety for that purpose. Like they need to make, yeah, just more modes. Like I would say at least by launch, make 2 more modes. Maybe come out with another playtest or a beta. Um, Obviously make more maps because again, there's only like 2 or 3 maps, and that's gonna get really boring, like boring very quickly. I understand. I'm not expecting you to make a million maps by launch. I'm not a person that has very unreal expectations. I understand that it's insane what you guys are doing with this game because the destruction in this game, like, I don't think people understand. It's awesome, especially when you could do some really cool plays, like people blowing the objective up, or like for me the other day, I threw down a jump pad and the fucking objective was just jumping in the air. It was hilarious. It's stuff like that that like really adds a lot of dynamic to like the game and the how it feels every time you play it. But it doesn't mean that there isn't going to be a point where you're going to be like, okay, like, is this it? Like, like, I just want a little bit more. I understand this is a free to play game. That's how it's going to release. Clearly, the way it's set up seems very much fitted for that. I like the style of it. I love the destruction in it. Like, holy crap, we haven't seen this much destruction since probably Battlefield Bad Company 2. And I just love it. So I'm hoping that we get more of it, and I hope it actually ends up doing pretty well. Because yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. It seems unique compared to a lot of multiplayer games that have come out recently. That's why I'm actually interested in it. It's not the same hero shooter or that, like, yeah, it has hero shooter elements to it, I guess, but like the destruction and the way everything's done and the customization for your characters, it just seems really fun and really cool. So yeah, we'll see.
We'll say give the small guy maybe just a smidgen more health. Or maybe I just shouldn't play at it because I'm real bad. But dude, I died just all the time so quickly. But yeah, I would say the needle for me didn't move anything anymore from my first kind of couple days of playing it. I still feel like this is one of those games where, you and me have our group, Logan, and we're like, all right, Wednesday nights or something like that, we play the finals. And it's just really one night a week, and you're just kind of in and
hmm
out. I don't think it is I'm dying to play more of the finals, but it's something I can have a fun time with friends. So yeah, pretty. I said pretty okay. It definitely feels like a swimming in sevens game. Where it's like, yeah, it's fine. It's good. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing real great about it, other than the destructibility. And I will say the customization really cool. I like the
hmm
customization a lot. There's a lot of different looks you can get, and I do have this sneaky suspicion, and this is just my aging brain that doesn't trust anything. It's like they're definitely giving you a lot for playing this beta. They're throwing money at you. There's no way the real game is gonna throw this much
Oh
stuff
yeah,
at you.
no.
Yeah, it's gonna take a long time, a lot longer to upgrade and unlock money and do all this other stuff when the whole goal is to get you to pay for things in the game. So, but yeah, they threw a lot at you. Hopefully the stuff transfers over. I'll be real mad if I get on the real game and like none of my stuff's there that I actually bought and I earned through gameplay when the real game
We'll
launches.
see, man. Most betas they don't. Usually you could put a ton of time in, and usually what they give you is maybe like a bonus thing, like, hey, you played the beta, you get like, I don't know, maybe you'll get like an early access to something, or you'll get an outfit
Maybe.
or something like that. I wouldn't assume that you're gonna have all your progress moved over, because I would say 99% of betas they never do. They never move over.
Bro, I was watching YouTube and apparently there's this guy who put like 112 hours into this. I was like, good God.
Holy shit, dude. It
Mm,
hasn't even come out yet. I expect that. Like, holy crap. You actually play the true finals when it does release, and you're going to be like, all that progress is gone. Like, that's,
yeah.
yeah.
Max level in the beta. Let's go. No one cares, bro. All right. Let's go. I'll say a couple things for a little bit because you only have one or two other things. So, still working through Gotham Knights. It is a lethargic ass game to play, but it's how do I want to what do I want to call this game? It is the single most mediocre AAA game I've ever played. And I don't actually know if that's a good or a positive or a negative thing. I think it looks actually fairly good while playing it, which is way different than what we saw in like the previews and all that. I think once you're in it, you get the comparisons out of your head. And I ask myself, does this look good while I'm grappling around the city? Yes. I think the city looks good. The ray tracing looks good. The rain effects look good. The characters look okay. It is a overall average looking game with a couple of high spots here, especially with like the neon lights reflecting off the streets. When the ray tracing is really kicking in, it looks fine. Looks good. I think it looks okay. Is the game designed well? Yes and no. I think it has a really unique like gameplay loop that they repeat about 1,000 times too many. It has a cool hook, and then you realize the hook is the entire game, and you're like, oh, okay, interesting choice. Is it? Are the builds fun? Let's go there. Again, yes and no. Like, you can equip higher number things and equip mods to them, and I guess do more damage because all the enemies level up with you, so I don't actually know. But pretty much, it's perfectly fine, man. You have to go in expecting it to be mediocre as hell, and just generally you get bored playing. It's a podcast game for me, man. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm talking to either you or Andrew on Discord, and I'm just going around doing crimes. And that's all I'm really doing. But I do want to get the platinum because it's an easy game to platinum. All I gotta do is play it. There's no effort that goes into getting the platinum. All I have to do is play the game. And I got nothing else to play right now. The only other game outside of Avatar that I'm interested in this year is going to be on the 17th of November, Super Mario RPG. But that's it. That's all I got to play. So I'm like, now's the time to play something like this. So, but yeah, you gonna play Gotham Knights?
No.
No, that's fair.
No, it does not interest me at all.
It's not a very interesting game. I'll say that.
Yeah, ever since I saw, like, I watched some gameplay on it, and I'm like, this does not look fun at all. Like, it looks worse than, in my opinion, even Avengers in many ways, but I don't know.
I don't think it's worse than Avengers, no. As a guy who put almost 400 hours into Avengers, I do not think this game is worse than Avengers. But it does have its high points. It has its cool cutscenes, some decent some decent dialogue mixed with some really truly terrible dialogue. I remember this. I was walking around the city. No, I don't remember the whole quote. But pretty much this guy was like, "Hey, look, it's Robin. I have an egg for you. Get it? Because you're a Robin." That was an actual line from the game. Paraphrase, obviously, because I don't remember. But that was just citizen dialogue. That's not actually like character-to-character dialogue. So I guarantee you that was probably written by an AI somewhere. So, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's just it's the hardest 6 out of 10 I've ever played in my life. Like, it commits so heavily to just staying mediocre as shit. Like, you play a cool story mission where it's like, oh, that was really awesome. And then you go into this broken ass side mission with the worst dialogue ever. It's like, it commits so heavily to just walking across that 6 out of 10 line. And it does it flawlessly. Never wavers. But yeah, man,
it's consistent. So that's yeah.
One thing I will say, it does stealth way better than Spider-Man does. I'm saying it. Its stealth is actually pretty above average, in my opinion, for like an open world game, you know? But all right. What else have I done this week? A lot. Where do I want to go next? Did I mention the Spectacular Spider-Man last week? I didn't remember if I did or not.
No, I don't think you did.
I started watching the 2000 and...
Or maybe you did.
Anyway, I watched it. No! Yes. Because I talked about the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway, I'm still watching the Spectacular Spider-Man. It's probably one of the best animated Spider-Man, other than like the 90s one for me. Now, I do think it does cooler stuff with the characters than the 90s one does, but I love the 90s one because that's what I grew up on. The Spectacular Spider-Man is just a really great interpretation of the character. It's way better than the Ultimate Spider-Man show that Marvel does now and Disney does now. Don't watch that absolute bullshit of a TV show. It's fucking terrible. You got fucking Drake Bell out there voicing Spider-Man. It's terrible. Not because of Drake Bell. He just happens to actually voice the character, but he doesn't help at all either.
I've never seen the Spectacular Spider-Man, huh?
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, I just looked it up, huh?
It does super... There's one plot point that it's carried on throughout its 2-season run that I think is brilliant because it surprised me with the reveal of who a villain is that I've known who this villain is my entire life. And it told the story in a way that surprised me with the reveal of the character being someone that I already knew who he was.
Huh.
And I think that level of storytelling in an animated TV show is very, very rare. And I'd love the Spectacular Spider-Man. It's really enjoyable. You should watch it. It's on Disney Plus. So, and I'm getting ready to cancel Disney Plus. So I'm trying to finish the series before I can't watch it no more. So
I think the only one I've ever watched, like, actually, was probably the 90s Spider-Man. Just,
yeah,
yeah,
the '90s,
Spider-Man.
the '90s Spider-Man is so fucking good, dude.
So good, dude. That's the one I am in love with. I mean, especially because Universal's Spider-Man ride is off of that show. It has that same art style and everything, and oh, it's so good.
It's so good, man. It's so amazing. There's so many memories I have of that. The eight-legged episode where he actually grows 8 limbs.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, it's so good. The opening is I watched the opening. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good, dude. So
Because
amazing.
it also went with a classic X-Men at the time too, and it has that same like, oh yeah,
And they
it's so
also
good.
introduced Daredevil in it, and there was an entire movie with Spider-Man versus Daredevil, and I still own the
Hmm.
movie somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere in this house. Okay. Anyway, the big one. We watched in one day the entire season 1 of Invincible, getting ready for season 2 to drop, which it has dropped. It dropped on Thursday, and then I
Oh,
also watched the Adam and Eve special for Invincible because I hadn't ever watched that before. That was a good 50 or so minute episode, all dedicated to the backstory of Adam and Eve. And then I sat myself down. I finally, after 2 years of waiting, got to watch season 2, episode 1 of Invincible, and I cannot fucking wait for each of these episodes to come out. Unfortunately, I do have to wait a week for each one, but man,
oh
this
God.
this thing picked up right where I wanted it to. It deals with the aftermath in a mature and approachable way, in a believable way, where bad shit happens and characters don't immediately get sunshine and rainbows afterwards. Characters are flawed, characters are hurt from the events of season 1, and that carries over into season 2 heavily with your main cast of characters. And dude, I just cannot wait. It does set up a lot of crazy, very comic booky stuff in season 2, or in that season 2 episode 1. But I love the show. I'm reading the graphic novel along with the like storylines that the show covers. So I'm reading all that. So I'm keeping up. I'm trying to do it in line to see what the differences are. But man, I fucking love the show so much, dude. It's so good. You haven't watched season 2 yet. You didn't even know it came out, did you?
Nope, not until you just told me. I forgot about it.
Yeah. So, well, hey, just wait till Thursday and you can watch season 1 and 2, episode 1 and 2.
I'll wait. I'll wait till the whole thing comes out, and then I can binge the whole thing like I did the first show.
See, I want to, but I can't. I can't wait. I'm gonna get this thing's fucking spoiled for me, dude. Which I guess
I will.
I could very easily spoil it by flipping through the comic book that I own because I own the entire series run on Omnibus,
Yeah.
Omnibus. I don't know how to say that word. Uh, but interesting thing. The comic book is like the storyline is tailored in different ways. So in the actual issue to issue, the ending of episode 1, season 1, that ending.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually the ending of issue 8. And then by the time we get to issue 12, it reaches the actual ending of season 1. So like the timeline is like all jumbled up in season 1 how they decided to tell it, which I think they decided to tell
Yeah.
it in a pretty interesting way.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's one of my favorite shows going right now. We've had to wait a long time for this season, so I could not wait another 8 weeks. I just can't do it. So I can't wait another 2 months for this thing to be done. I just want to watch it week in and week out. But all right, go ahead and say your 2 things before I finish up here and we move on with our lives. So
Okay. Well, I decided to play a little game that I've been really wanting to play, and I finally got a group of people that were willing to play it with me. And that is a game called Phasmophobia. It's not a single player game. It's very much just a multiplayer game that is very fun with friends, and it has a pretty good gameplay loop for it. And it's basically you're a ghost hunter, or more like ghosts slash spirits slash something else. Probably can't think of it at the moment. And It's really fun. I had a lot of fun with my friends playing it. I played it in VR mode. That was my first time ever actually playing it, so I decided to play it through VR because I really wanted to test it out. And actually, dude, again, I'm still just so blown away by the fact that for some reason my Quest 3, I don't know again if they updated the chip. I know supposedly it was updated to work with Wi-Fi 6 and maybe the Quest 2 wasn't. So I've been able to straight up play my PC games wireless, and it has been working flawlessly again. Like I can't, like I just do not understand how it's doing it, but it's doing it, and it's flawless, and I can't complain. I don't know why, but my brain can't believe it. So because every time I do it, I'm like, oh, it's gonna have artifacts. It's gonna start
That's
dropping the frames. It's gonna have these problems, and then it just works, and I'm like, okay, like I don't even have that good of internet or anything. Like it's just working. It's connecting. It's
that's
doing a good job.
that's why I'm telling you I'm excited for this PlayStation Portal because it's running on the
Uh,
same kind of tech, Wi-Fi 6 enhanced, Wi-Fi 6E,
I'll have to look at it
and
and see if it maybe.
I got the notification saying that my pre-order was about to go through, even though I don't get it till Christmas because my mom bought it for me. But I had to buy it because it's only available on PlayStation Direct, so I had to buy it through my
Yeah.
account for her. So I know I'm getting it for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
which sucks. I don't like doing that. I like to be surprised anymore, but I was like, there's no way for her to get this to me without me knowing because she has to use my account to do it. So
Well, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get that home. I can play video games on my PS5 while we're doing the podcast. Can't wait for that.
But
Sorry, I
yeah,
didn't
I've actually
interrupt.
been. Oh no, you're good. Which actually, speaking of that, I've been doing some testing myself with trying to, because occasionally I like to go upstairs and hang out with my family, and it'd be cool to like hang out up there. I'll bring my Steam Deck up there, and then I can stream my games from my PC right here to that. The only problem is one game specifically, Starfield. Born with problems. As maybe some people would say, star broken, star whatever. Ha ha ha. Okay, I get it. I get it. I understand. But basically, for some reason, Starfield has a really shitty thing where if you're playing it on your PC, you cannot change the resolution, which I still think is fucking stupid. So you have to like the only way to change your resolution is if you change your actual PC resolution
Oh, it's
down.
so annoying.
So, well, it's really annoying because if I try to stream it to my Steam Deck, it does my widescreen monitor on that whatever 16 by 9, so it's like fucking huge black bars and like it's super wide and it's basically just not playable at that point. But I did try out a couple other games and it's working pretty well again, so I'll have to actually try it from a farther distance and actually go upstairs and try it out. Because I would like to do that occasionally. It'd be fun. Sometimes I've been playing a lot of games on my Steam Deck recently, not notably for me to talk about at the moment, just more me just messing around playing some games. But yeah, Phasmophobia. Back to what we're going to. Phasmophobia is extremely fun. It's
Come on,
actually going
man.
to be coming to
Everybody's weird.
console very soon, I believe. Um, it's fun. I mean, again, if you like Ghost Hunter stuff, which I kind of do, I don't believe in ghosts, but I do like the idea behind it. And especially Phasmophobia has always been interesting to me. And ever since I got my PC, or actually more when I got my Steam Deck, I bought it like immediately because that was one game I really wanted to play. And now that I have a group of people to play with, because again, it's not the kind of game that you want to play by yourself. It's very boring if you play by yourself. Um, it's great. It's awesome. And again, on VR, it was really fun. I played it normally as well. It's
Oh, then we're back. One quick Discord failure later, and here we are.
Yeah, my camera, my mic, everything just said nope. Don't know
Better.
what happened there. Um,
That, that,
so quick
that
break later, my camera getting fixed and me eating chocolate, which Mike almost tricked me into thinking I was eating chocolate while we're going. Um,
that reminds me. I was reading. I was on Reddit, which is my favorite place in the world, even though it's the most destructive thing for your sanity. But I love it. Um, I was I was on some kind of Windows thing, and he's like, "Dude, is it just me, or does like Windows have a little gremlin that they programmed in to just run around and fuck with all your settings every time you turn the computer on?" It's just like it just feels like every time I turn the computer back on. And this is him talking, by the way. It's just
mhm.
something has changed and something's not the way I left it. It's just like there's a little gremlin that just runs around. And it's like, haha, got you. I changed it.
Yeah.
It's like Todd Howard is just in my computer, be like, it just works. It's like, fuck off, Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so
it's perfect.
that's computers for a nutshell.
Yeah.
Todd Howard, it just
Well,
works.
but basically, if I don't remember exactly where I left off, but
You're talking about
Phasmophobia comes to console, try it out. Again, if you like ghost stuff, like ghost investigations and all that, with actually the fact that these ghosts can kill you, it's great. It's really really fun. It's got a good gameplay loop. It's a very kind of like Left 4 Dead kind of thing where it's very random every time, and there's a ton of different maps, and they constantly update the game. It's a phenomenal game. I mean, I played it with my friends. I had a really good time. I know Mike probably doesn't even like that kind of stuff, but it's fun. It's a good time.
Why do you always assume what I do and don't like? I like horror games.
You don't even seem interested in this game at all.
I don't like people.
Yeah, but it's a horror game with friends, and it's not like a normal horror game. It's like
friends.
But you got me.
Yeah, I'm stuck with you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Also, who the fuck doesn't know who Blink-182 is? No one has context for this, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I guess for context, Peyton was randomly sitting on a sofa, and she looked at me. She was like, "You know who Blink-182 is?" I'm like, "Of course I know who Blink-182 is. I was born, so of course I live. I know who Blink-182 is." She goes, "Well, your best friend doesn't." And I was like, "That fucking figures. Has no clue who Blink-182 is. This fucking psychopath, I swear."
Well, it turns out I'm not the only one, because we literally were at the winery, and
okay.
Amy,
you're at a winery asking people. I don't expect those snobs.
No, okay, but it was Amy and Emily, okay, and they're like, "You didn't know who Blink-182 is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't." And then they continue to literally bring up two songs that are not from Blink-182. And literally, like, I was like, "So you clearly don't know who Blink-182 is either, do you?"
That's amazing. That's so good.
So I'm not
all
the only one.
Small things truth brings.
I need to figure out what songs did they tell me. They told me, I don't even remember what songs they were.
Adam's song, all the small things. What's my name? No, what's my age now? What's my age again? Sorry, what's my age again? They have like 20 fucking records, dude. Blink-182 is one of my favorite boy band. Is it a Blink-182 is not a boy band. It's just a band that happens to be boys. It's just like a soft rock band.
It's like yeah.
It's a millennial rock band. I'll say that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, perfect. But I love Blink-182, man. Speaking of that, Against the Current finally came out with the music video for the new song, and I like it. It's a good song. I don't know if you know who Against the Current is.
Nope.
See, I never think I'm that into music, and then I listen to all this stuff, and people are like, "Oh, wow, you're like really into music." I'm like, "Not really. I just know certain things here and there." So, but all right. So yeah, Phasmophobia, cool. I've seen it. I've watched gameplays of it. It's not that I'm not interested in it. It's that I don't have any interest to play it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm interested in its existence, but I'm not interested in participating in its experience. Although, is that the one that, like, if you breathe into the mic or something like that, like the creatures can hear you?
Yeah, like you can literally talk. You could be like, "What's your name?" Or or you could fuck around like I was doing with my friend because he likes pineapple and pizza, and I still think pineapple and pizza is a crime. And so I go around, and I go on the mic, and I say, "Do you like pineapple and pizza?" And the funny thing is, it responded on the mic thing, so clearly it didn't like pineapple and pizza.
What's wrong? So
yes,
just like you.
Yeah.
What's more of a crime, pineapple and pizza, or you've never heard of Blink-182? I feel like it's Blink-182.
I refuse.
You were born in the 90s and you don't know Blink-182.
No, okay, I know. If you tell me the song, I'm like, yeah, I know that. But name-wise, I always forget. So
that's fair. I do that a lot.
I have a problem with not knowing any artist names. But if you show me a song, I'm like, yeah, I know that song. And I mean it. I'm not lying to you. Like, I'm not trying to act cool. Like, I know that song. I just don't know who the band is for some reason. I just don't. I don't know. I have a problem with that. Like, I have a playlist and I constantly forget what songs I like. and I have to like listen to a bunch of songs. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, and I'll ask like Siri, can you tell me what song this is, and then I screenshot it. That's the only reason I figure out songs.
I do this
I
thing
have
and
a
Peyton
problem.
hates it. So we'll be like on a road trip, and I'll have my road trip playlist, and I'll listen to like, I don't know, 90 seconds, 100 seconds of a song, and then go to the next one. So I'm like, I'm bored with this one.
Hmm.
Let's go to the next one. And she's like, just listen to the rest of it. I'm like, I don't want to. It's like 4 minute long song. Fuck that. I'm gonna move on. You know. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else does that, but I do it, and she hates it. So that's why I listen to podcasts, so she can suffer the entire way instead of only partial way.
Yeah.
All right, man. Tell me about Separate Ways. Well, I mean, I know about it, but tell me what you thought of it.
Oh yeah, separate ways. Well, I started playing it literally today, and I probably put only just about an hour. Probably not even that. I would probably say maybe like 40
By the
minutes.
way, I'm head bobbing to
Uh,
Blink 182 in my head.
uh yeah, but yeah, it's cool. It's really good. I'm excited to get through more of it. I'm starting to already again, I never played the classic Resident Evil 4, or at least I never beat it. I have played it, but I've only played it through VR. I know. Um but I've never again played her side of the story. So this is really cool to see her side. It's very interesting. And also, holy crap, I'm very rusty at playing Resident Evil after all this fucking like, dude. I'm like immediately it puts you into a fight like
Oh yeah,
within a
no.
few minutes of it, and I was like, what's the controls again? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
How do you shoot?
Yeah, how do you shoot? How do you use your knife? Wait, you can block that again? Oh, okay, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, so I have a huge problem with that. But it's really fun. I'm having a good time. Good thing is she has a really good arsenal off the bat that is
Oh yeah, dude,
very
she's
good.
freaking loaded.
So, yeah. So, it's good. It's good so far. I'm again, I really like seeing this point of view of the story. I always like when movies or games do this kind of thing where they kind of like show a different point of view, and it's always fascinating. Though I do think there are some quite immersion breaking things you can do in this DLC that I'm like, wait a minute, when Leon went back there, he couldn't open that door, but she can. Or wait a minute, there was a key behind there, and I'm like, but Leon didn't see that key there. So it's just kind of like those little things. It's not a big deal. It's not like ruining it, but it's cool so far. I like it. Yeah.
Speaking of point of view, I love the game through that point of view with her as a character.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you were smelling what I was stepping in there.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with me.
All right.
All right. So speaking of that, I watched a couple new things. I watched two documentaries. I watched the most uncomfortable documentary I've ever watched in my life, but I'll talk about that in a second. A new Netflix crime documentary came out called "Till Murder Do Us Part." It pretty much chronicles the stories of these two characters called Jens Soring and somebody Heather Haysom. I don't remember. Anyway, these two people killed their parents, and like there's a whole mystery around who was there, who wasn't there, and it was really interesting. I love these, short 3 to 4 episode crime documentaries. I absolutely eat these things up left and right. Netflix never stopped making these. It's probably the only reason why I'll stay subscribed, because guess what? They're raising the price again. Eventually, I'm going to spend $50 a month on fucking Netflix, and everyone else who watches it linked to mine. So, but whatever. It's the price I pay for being who I am. I don't know how that comment makes any sense, but this is really good, really interesting. Just like all of them, it keeps you on your toes. It mixes in interpretive like parts where they've kind of shot like a representation within like the actual real life like courtroom scenes. Because interesting enough, this was actually the very first group of like court battles that were televised to the American public. This is the very first one. So it was really cool to see the actual videos from that, and it was just an all-around very interesting story, and it leaves you with not really giving you all the answers, because there still isn't an actual answer. No one knows what actually happened on that fateful evening, but I'm pretty sure you like these, don't you, Logan, or do you not like these that much?
What, documentaries?
Well, like these crime docs, these like short 3 to 4 episode
Yeah,
crime
I
docs.
love them. I
Oh,
love
I
those,
think you
man.
would really
Yeah.
like this one, and I always watch them in one night. And what's funny is I always do this every single time. I'm scrolling Netflix trying to look for something to fall asleep to, and I turn this on and I watch the next 4 hours of it, and I go to bed like at 3 o'clock in the morning every single time, without
I
fail.
I told you about the whole like the whole religious cult one, dude, that I literally got so
Oh,
obsessed with
Waco,
that
yeah, Waco's
yeah, the
awesome.
Waco one, dude. And there's a Netflix one that's on there, and it was phenomenal. And I got so addicted to it that I stayed up till like 2 in the morning watching it because I was like, this is so fucking good. Like, I was like, keep going. I love this shit. I don't know. I actually really do like crime documentaries. I want to say I don't, but every time my mom and them are watching something like that upstairs, I'm like that dad.
On I'm in, yeah. Just stand
I'm
there and
like,
watch it.
I'm eating, and I'm like, oh, you're so stupid. I'm getting a little closer, and I'm like, okay, all right, I gotta watch it now. And I'm like, I'm curious.
We should
We
check it out.
literally, me and Amy have that problem. We'll go upstairs occasionally, and then like it'll be something about like a boyfriend killing someone, or there's this crazy neighbor that wanted to kill like a bunch of his neighbors because the dog bit one of them, and they sued them and basically told them like, hey, like you need to put a muzzle on that dog. And again, like we were so invested in it. Like it was like this is interesting. Like okay, keep going. Like and then basically the dad and the daughter end up getting killed by the dude. So yeah. Huh.
Well, you should check this one out. Till Murder Do Us
Okay.
Part. I said it's pretty good. It's really good, actually. It's right in the same quality of all of them. But the one that I was very much excited for, it premiered on October 31st. I didn't really talk about this too much because I don't love talking about other creators and all that. I'll mention them in part if they're applicable to the story, but I don't like just directly referencing them or talking about them directly. But this is a YouTube documentary that people have been very excited for, and it was the one on Boogie 2988. And this thing was the most uncomfortable documentary I've ever watched, chronicling this guy's life. Dude, the things that like he admitted to and was just forthcoming information wise in this documentary. I guess he saw it as like, people hate me already. If I'm just completely and utterly honest with my life, who I am, and what I represent, maybe people will come back. My man, when I'm telling you, he talked about how he spent over $200,000 over the course of like 2 to 3 years on just like prostitutes and strippers and shit like that. And he was just talking about this stuff. The thing that got me, this is fucking kill me. And it's not exactly a nice comment to make, but it made me laugh out loud. They had one of the prostitutes that he slept with. They had her on the documentary, and she was all
Mm-hmm.
blacked out, and her identity was all kept secret. But they asked her what it was like, and she goes, it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had with a client. It took me like 20 minutes to find his dick, and I fucking died laughing, dude. I felt so bad. That's what I'm talking about. It is so uncomfortable. I watched this hour and a little over an hour long documentary, and I'm like, I am so uncomfortable watching this guy's life play out and just certain things that he was exposing. It's a great watch. I thought it was done really, really well as this guy's first kind of like movie. Like this is his first movie or documentary that he's put together, brand new channel. There's nothing else on it other than the trailer, the behind the scenes look, and the actual documentary itself. But yeah, man, you should give this one a watch. It's about an hour long, and it is uncomfortable as fuck to watch, but super interesting. And a look inside someone's life who technically means something for the space that we are occupying now. YouTube and video games. So, and man, this guy fucked up his life in so many different ways, dude. There was so many
Really?
different decisions he could have made along the way. I'm just watching this. I was like, there's a mess up. There's a mess up. There's a fuck up. There's a fuck up. That was the wrong decision. That was fucked up. You did wrong there. Every single thing that he decided to do was the wrong thing to do. But yeah, great watch. Let me tell you, this uncomfortable watch. So, all right. That was the rundown. A little bit of a longer one, but not too much over. About 40 minutes. Not crazy over length. Over length? What does that
Overlay?
even mean? All
I
right.
don't know.
We're going to go in now to point of the show, also known as POTS here on the XP Podcast. This is, like we promised last week. Well, technically, we promised to have a separate episode, but that didn't come to fruition. So, this is our SpoilerCast for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. We did our best to not spoil anything in the review. I did watch it back, and both of us kind of had some slip-ups because this is a very hard game to talk critically about without spoiling anything. So if those of you out there, no one commented on the fact that we did it, but if those of you out there that watched us, you're like, oh, fuck you guys, you spoiled this. I honestly tried my best. I don't spoil things for anybody. I still don't spoil the ending of The Last of Us for people because I just won't fucking do it. I won't talk about the ending of that game or movie or show, not movie or show to anybody because I think it's that special and that impactful. So I'm a guy that won't spoil a 10-year-old game. That's who I am. So, but yeah, I'll bat a little bit. I guess there's only so much we can talk about, but. We have a loose structure here. We're going to go through it, talk about all the ins and outs. Everything is on the table. So if you haven't beat the game yet, if you haven't beat the game, then you want to just skip over this. It'll be in the timestamps. If you don't care, obviously, then stick on in and we're going to talk about everything that this game has to offer. And we're going to start where all things start, at the beginning. The opening to this game, Logan, is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's the most bombastic 20-minute opening I've ever remembered. Maybe no, because like God of War you don't have the Baldur's fight until like an hour into the game. In Ragnarok, you don't even have the Thor fight until like an hour into the game. So this is the most bombastic 20-minute opening to a game I think I can remember.
Yeah, it's like right off the bat, like boom. It's right. I mean, obviously, well, I wouldn't say it's right off the bat. There's a initial scene, and now that it's kind of weird now talking about spoilers, where basically it's Harry and his father. Basically, it's kind of like connecting with the I would say after credits of Spider-Man 2018 of him in the tube. Well, it's before him in the tube basically, where he's talking to his dad, and he's like, "Hey, if this doesn't work, kill me, done. I don't."
No, he says pull me out, as in like pull me out of the tube so I can live the rest of my life or whatever it
is.
Yeah. He doesn't just say take me
out.
Oh, okay. He says pull me out.
That's fair. But yeah, so his dad, which I still am a little confused by, but I guess I don't know. I guess he was able to figure out how to get the venom power to trans.
Well,
I don't know if that was just like an effect, like it was in his brain, or if it was more like he somehow was able to slither the symbiote from him over to Harry and then put him in the tube, which was a little confusing.
I think what happens is the symbiote lands as it does in all Spider-Man stories, and then they were able to retrieve it, and then they just put it on Harry. But I think they thought it was supposed to be some sort of like scientific thing, with really the symbiote just acted like the symbiote's always acted like, but he was in this cage. And I guess maybe it took a lot longer to heal whatever disease Harry was ailmenting from, because it never really explains what is wrong. I'm guessing some sort of like cancer or degenerative. It feels like kind of like a degenerative body disease, what it feels like the game is trying to tell us. But it never makes it explicit what the disease that he's suffering from is. But I'm guessing maybe it just took a long time. But essentially, they attach a symbiote suit to him, and it heals him over the course of a couple of years, which seems a bit like a plot hole there, because it does not take that long for the symbiote suit to heal. But whatever, fuck it.
I know, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, and then it drops you right into a surprise character we didn't even know was in the game, was in none of the mocking. Props to Sony, or props to Insomniac. They usually fuck this up. Well, I guess he was in never mind. Yeah, he was in the he was in the launch day trailer. That launch day trailer was the worst mistake I've ever seen in my life.
No, it wasn't launch day trailer. They did it back in the PlayStation Showcase. They showcased this character. You talk about the lizard?
No, the game opens with Sandman, you dumbass.
Oh, Sam. Okay, yeah. No,
I knew Lizard was in it.
Sandman, I had no idea. Yeah, except for I didn't even. I still haven't looked up the launch day trailer.
He's there. Well, you had it spoiled, unfortunately. I did not.
Yeah,
I started the game
because I was a freaking idiot, and I'm like, I love Digital Foundry's videos, and usually when they say like spoilers, they usually do very minor stuff, and I feel like showing Sandman was quite a big spoiler because no one talked about it, and I had no idea Sandman was going to be in this until literally I watched that video. I'm like, fuck. And I literally exit out the video immediately. I'm like, well, I know now, so it's kind of like hard to, forget this. So that kind of sucked, but I didn't know exactly why he was there. I didn't know anything about the story of what was happening with him. So it wasn't like completely ruined for me. Like I still had the surprise in there, and I didn't watch everything that happened in that scene. And holy shit, dude, that again, this beginning was so cool because again, it really showcased like the big upgrade. Which I gotta say, now after beating the game and taking a while, it is kind of sucky that this is probably the most epic thing that happens in this entire game. Literally, at the very beginning of the game,
I
it is the
think
most epic and cinematic thing to happen probably throughout this entire game, in
I
my
think
opinion.
in terms of just scope and general non-player input, yes, but I think some of the other boss fights are better
Well, I
because
guess
of
the
the
lizard thing was pretty cool too. So
yeah.
yeah, okay.
I think there's a lot of other moments where it focuses more on the direct player input, like the lizard fight, like the final boss fight with Venom. I think those focus a lot more on player input and like just creating a scene around it. Where this was all about the visual spectacle. That's all.
Yeah,
You
and tutorial and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, you think playing through the boss fight again on my second playthrough that I started, and I haven't finished it by the way. I'm just kind of messing around. I was like, man, you really don't do anything. You swing, you press triangle a couple times, and then you press square a
yeah,
couple
and then
times.
you just grab the things, throw it
Yeah,
at him,
but
go hit.
this was
It's a it's
definitely go ahead.
it's very cinematic and cool.
Yes, but
So
it's an awesome opening. I did not expect it. I love how the fucking sand sticks around for almost the entire game, but it slowly goes away throughout the game as you're playing in the city. I don't know if you
oh
noticed
yeah,
that. Yeah, like
yeah.
yeah, when you first jump back into the actual open world, there's sand everywhere, and slowly throughout the game, that sand kind of shortens itself. Like the city's cleaning itself up. I thought that was an awesome little detail that they did.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, man, what a banger of an opening! Throws you right into the characters with Peter trying to be a teacher, trying to have a real job, and it immediately hits you with those gut punching moments of, dude, you just can't live a normal life and be Spider-Man to the best of your ability. And it's the first time that
Yeah.
Miles has really seen it up close and personal with Peter. You know, he was like, damn, man, is this what I have to look forward to? And that's a thread that keeps getting pulled throughout Miles' story of, dude, the work-life balance in this is very difficult for these characters to pull off, which again is not anything new for the character of Spider-Man. That's a core tenement of his entire characteristics is the fact that he's always behind on everything.
Mm-hmm.
If he's focused on his life, he's behind on his Spider-Man duties. If he focuses on his superhero duties, he's behind on his life, and that's a constant battle that this character wages throughout the history of his existence. And it was great to see it play out in in front of us and throughout the whole game in different perspectives with both Peter and Miles. And I think this opening sets it right up for it. And you immediately feel bad for Peter. You're like, damn, man, he just can't get a break, dude, ever.
Yeah, and especially because he was like really pumped about it. I mean, I don't know if he's obviously they don't explain this at all in the game. At least I don't think they ever did. Was like what happened in between jobs after the first game, where he went to work. If he did have a job in between, so
Well,
I'm
yeah,
gonna assume.
he worked for Doc Doctor Octavius, and that
No,
fell
I'm saying
apart.
after that.
Oh, you mean in between the games?
Yeah,
No,
so
no,
I'm
no.
gonna assume this is his first job since.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Um,
in Miles, he took the trip to Sokovia. That's not right.
yeah.
That's in the MCU. I
Uh,
don't know the place that Silver State was from. I don't remember, but
Yeah, so yeah. But yeah. So yeah, it was kind of like it did kind of hit pretty hard because it was like really shitty because it's like, yeah, he finally got a job that he was really excited about, and then immediately he lost it just like that because he had to be Spider-Man, and it's just like his duty. So yeah,
duty,
duty.
such a child.
Jeez.
Um,
Um.
Hold on, I'm pulling up the Spider-Man 2 walkthrough so we can kind of go through this as sequentially as possible. But yeah, man, this sets up the story. I love the line when they fall into the water, and Miles just looks at Peter and goes, "I have sand everywhere." It's a callback to Spider-Man 3 when he fights Sandman in the movie. And it's just a great little humorous line. And it opens up the first true side quest mission of the game, which we mentioned
Well,
this in the review. What?
it also kind of has the kind of same in a sense, kind of same moment that the first game did, where after defeating the tutorial boss, he continues to say, "You don't know what you've done," and that's kind of how this one was too, because like he's like, "You don't understand, like what's coming," and that's kind of the same thing that literally Kingpin said to him in the first game, which is kind of interesting because they kind of redid it just in a different way. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, that was just like a small little moment, but it kind of gets you into the fact that like obviously we have no clue what's about to come, and so yeah,
Yeah.
we get into the first little side missions. You know,
Which
they
I do
just
have to
show us
say,
the road.
like I said, we talked about it in the review, and all the collectibles, all the side missions this time will have stories and characters linked to them, which I think was a smart change from the first game. Everything builds to something, whether it's gratifying, like the Mysterio storyline, or ungratifying, like the Spider-Bot storyline.
Yeah,
I just think that one, there was a lot of false hope put into it. It was never meant to be some big reveal. It was just meant to be some fun little Easter egg, and everyone was like, "Oh, what's this building to? Oh my god!" But I think a great storyline is the Mysterio storyline and how it ends. I think that's awesome. I
yeah, I
know,
need to do that.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
By the way, the other day, Andrew and I were looking through your trophies, and we were judging you for what you have and haven't done. So, but how do you only have 20 suits? What are you doing over there? There's 66 suits in this game, and you have 20 of them. What are you
yeah,
doing?
because you have to do a lot of the side activities in order to get the hero tokens, in which you need the hero tokens to unlock the suits, and I don't have a lot of hero tokens.
And you want to know why
So
you find the game to be so hard? Because you've only unlocked half of the gadget upgrades.
exactly.
What do you? How do you play
Again,
games over
I was playing
there?
this game on hard mode. Okay, hey, I don't know.
Anyway, so we spend the next couple missions just getting to grips with the overall game, crafting a suit, yada yada yada, and then you go back home. It's the first time you visit um the new district.
Eh,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and you go back in the house, and then you walk out, and boom, Harry's there, and it leads you
yep,
to your first. Let's call them human missions in the
yeah,
game, where you ride a bike and you have a flashback, and you do this whole high school scene where they reenact breaking into the high school, and it's recontextualized through like a modern day um romp through memory lane. I don't know how to say it, but
yeah.
what do you think? I loved this. I thought it was awesome. A lot of people complained heavily about this, riding the bikes, doing the high school thing, because everybody doesn't understand the character of Spider-Man, and they're like, "Oh, I just want to swing." But anyway, I loved it.
I yeah, I thought it was really really cool, and in general, I thought it was very well done. Again, it was just kind of their way of being like, hey, let's kind of sort of exposition dump in a way, but not really. More just like trying to get out the fact that like to understand both Harry and Spider-Man's relationship, especially in this universe, and to also kind of end with a sour note, which was to kind of also explain the day that Harry lost his mother within all that same day and everything. But I also just really was very. This was also the first time I also started to really notice like the ray tracing was very impressive. I actually still have a picture I need to send you, Mike, of me just like being blown away by like one tiny ass moment. I was walking by like a balloon and I could see my entire fucking character in the balloon. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like that was so cool.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome,
know
man.
it was just kind of like, wow, like that's extremely impressive. So
Someone fighting behind you? You muted your mic and then tried to say something.
someone's yelling at me for some reason. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. You want me to pause it? No?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Keep going.
But yeah, no, great scene. Sets up the return of Harry. It's adorable how excited Peter is. Um, I do have to give the game props for the little twist on, like, someone walks out of their house and is, kidnapped by a villain or something, like, because MJ like
Yes, yeah.
screams and Peter's like fuck, and we didn't say that obviously in the game, but he
Yeah.
like ran out, and then there's Harry right there. I thought that was a cool little twist. I didn't expect it. Obviously we knew Harry was going to be in this game in some capacity, but
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, oh great, here we go, MJ's going to get kidnapped, awesome, we haven't seen this
Yeah.
before. But totally flip on the head there, really cool way to do it. And like, yeah, like I said, the overall scene leading up to the death of Harry's mom, super impactful. and linking that together is a great, in my opinion, a great way to read. God, I keep punching literally everything on my desk. Move there, please. This is why you have bottles that have caps on them, so you don't actually spill a fucking liquid into your $500 GPU. But anyway, great way to reintroduce Harry. And the next set of missions, the very next one actually, you are introduced to Kraven, who I don't really know how you want to go in, because I want to like kind of talk about each character, their strengths and weaknesses. Do you want to just go through the story and then detail out all the strengths and weaknesses, or do you want to just go through it naturally?
We just go through naturally.
Okay, well,
So.
this is our introduction into Kraven. Obviously, you get an introduction to him at the very beginning of the game in that cutscene that we all saw during the state of play.
Yeah.
This is the first time that the characters run into him. And yeah, so I guess we'll skip right ahead to just what Kraven is doing in this game, and that's essentially killing the entire Rogues Gallery of Spider-Man and resetting the entire board for us moving forward now, which is odd. Like I said, I didn't love the actual representation of how Kraven was doing this, because I felt like he really wasn't doing anything, just having his people bring him the villains and all that, which we couldn't really, well, we definitely couldn't say at all during the review when I was trying to explain why I didn't love exactly what they had doing, but the actual thing that he's trying to do was really, really cool. I just didn't love the way that like essentially he was just sitting on a throne and just having all his minions bring him all these villains. But the actual idea of him essentially resetting this Insomniac universe in a way and killing. Oh,
A lot.
sorry, someone's just laying on the horn outside my house. What the hell?
Oh.
And essentially killing the entire Rogues Gallery, other than the main antagonist in these games, and obviously when we get to the end, we'll talk about the ones moving forward. And yeah, that was really awesome. Like, I remember talking to Peyton, and Scorpion dead, Vulture dead,
Dead.
Rhino, yeah,
Dead.
Electro dead, Rhino dead.
Rhino? Rhino's dead? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, when you walk around the camp, in one of the things you can see, you view Rhino. I'm pretty sure, at least. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought he was. But yeah, pretty much every.
I know it was going.
I'm saying pretty much, essentially, the Sinister Six is dead, killed by Kraven, and I thought that was really, really well done, really cool, and a payoff from like his kind of core identity. I just, again, I don't want to talk negative too much, but I just wish he had, or the game emphasized his involvement in it a little bit more. That's what I wanted. So, anyway.
Oh, who, Mr. Negatives?
No, I said Kraven's. I wish the game would have emphasized his, like, see him actually going out there and doing stuff, because you don't really see him until like essentially you're fighting him.
Probably the second half of the game, honestly.
Yeah, you don't really see him too much, but yeah, man, I thought this was an awesome kind of opening, but like, oh shit, he's just literally killing everybody. Okay.
Well, cool. Yeah, though, that's why I was blown away by, because I thought they were going to play it very safe and maybe they were going to kill one villain. But what blew me away the most, and we're going to jump ahead a little bit here, is just like, well, for first thing, when you first figure out that he is what Kraven is doing, why he's doing it, and you get to see that first little video when Spider-Man like gets into one of the bases and you see fucking Sting? No, wait. Scorpion? Yeah? Got that right? Yeah.
Scorpion.
Yeah, we see him actually get killed.
Yeah, just straight up stabbed with his own shit.
I was like, okay, one died. Okay, yeah, cool. Whatever. Like, let's see how much the stakes will go from here. But there's a later mission that we'll talk about more. But I'm just gonna say, basically, you're going around this camp, and you literally can go to. It's optional. You can miss out on all this information, which kind of sucks, because then if you did miss out on that, you're not going to know who actually all died, and you might be confused in the future games. But if you go through this camp and you actually go and look at all these different tables, they have tape recorders, and it's about Kraven basically straight up killing a ton of different villains. And I'm like, holy shit, all these people got killed already? Like, what? Like, that was really cool, because I was like, oh my god, like, they killed Electro, they killed Vulture, they killed. I know there's like two more other people that he killed, but I can't remember the names of them.
Who does?
I know it's Vulture, Electro. There was one guy from the first game, that we fought in the bank. He's one of them that got killed. I can't remember his name though.
All right, so here we go. Here's a list of everybody killed by the Vulture. Rhino, although it does say unconfirmed, even though you see his plaque on the wall. Electro, Scorpion. Oh my God, my fucking Google is having a freak. Shocker and Vulture. So he kills 4 confirmed, 5 possible.
Yeah. Because I think I know you talk about where the Rhino thing is, but I didn't really know if that was like truly confirmed or not.
Well, it's in his like little camp when you first go in there, when you're like trying to get the background in there. They have like the Rhino stuff on, like his head is on a fucking plaque on a wall, like, which is insane. So who knows? But yeah, confirmed definitely. Electro, Scorpion, Vulture, and Shocker. They're all dead.
But yeah, that part really kind of blew my mind because I was like, holy shit, like that again, that brought up the stakes because it's like I kind of like that happened because they could have really played it safe and just been like, yeah, just Scorpion got killed. Spider-Man happened to be able to save everyone else and stop him from getting to him, but no, it was a lot of people died, like a lot. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, let's keep it going. The next couple groups of missions, Miles is reintroduced to, not reintroduced, we are reintroduced to his uncle, who is a reformed villain, which is kind of a theme for Miles's story. There's another reformed villain that we'll talk about later, much more important. But yeah, his uncle, which gets his own entire plot line, storyline. It's small, but it has a resolution by the end of it. It's a really cool resolution. And then you're introduced to the Emily May Foundation, which is set up by Harry and is like the new driving force of scientific advancement in the Insomniac universe. And Peter is very excited about it. This is what he wants his new job to be. And then you go in through Scorpion killing him. And then you get what, in my opinion, is the kind of most unexpected and a really awesome role reversal when it is not Black Cat, or it's not Peter Parker Spider-Man dealing with Black Cat. It's Miles dealing with Black Cat. And you get that kind of role reversal, and you definitely get a more dominating side of Black Cat because now she's dealing with just kind of like the kid Spider-Man and not the man Spider-Man. And I don't mean that to be offensive. That's just kind of the way I'm putting those two people. But all I gotta say, at the risk of eating cancel, god damn it, Black Cat is hot, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But she's got a girlfriend now, so that's cool, I guess. Awesome.
Yeah, which I thought was a little weird, but I guess she's bi?
She's always been back and forth,
Okay, because like that also just, I will admit, I think her resolution throughout this whole story was kind of fucking lame. It was not that exciting.
I mean, essentially,
it was just kind of like she just well, we're in spoiler territory. Well, I'm kind of confused because I'm pretty sure the whole Scorpion thing happened before this.
It did, yeah.
Now we're a little out of okay. So we're just talking about the Black Cat thing first.
Well, I'm just kind of going through the missions. Like, yeah, the Scorpion thing actually happened right before you meet Black Cat as Miles. So I just kind of went over the stuff we had already talked about. So
okay, yeah.
Yeah, they set up the Emily May Foundation. The next mission is you dealing with Kraven and him killing Scorpion and all that, and then you go to Miles Black Cat.
Well, yeah, you try to stop Kraven from getting
yeah.
Which
is an awesome scene on the boat, where you
that
see,
boat scene was really, really cool.
Yeah, where you see Miles really the first time that he's kind of had like this fascination with achieving something with Mr. Negative and the prisoners on the raft and all this kind of interesting stuff that goes down. Really cool scene, and it's entirely flipped on its head later in the game, which again, this game does a great job of bringing all its plot points back together. So, but yeah, then you get Black Cat, which I think you're missing something here. I think you're missing the artifact that she was after. You're muted.
Talking about the magic thing from...
Yeah, it's Doctor Strange. It's
his tool. I know.
Okay, I thought it was really cool.
I got that, but again, it was just kind of lame because, like, I don't know, like, it seemed very off character for her, and then she just kind of leaves, and that's it. Like, she teleports to Paris, and that's it. Like, that's her whole thing. I was just kind of like, okay, all right.
This game
I'm
really
like, goodbye.
Yeah,
see you, character.
This game really wasn't about her, though. I mean, we got an entire
DLC, her, but it's just a lame. like ending for her. Like everyone else has at least somewhat of an ending or interesting ending. Hers is just my girlfriend's in trouble. Let me leave.
Well, I think
Okay,
it's important.
teleport gone.
I think it's important that she got out of town, and they made it a point to make sure that they got her out of town to save her
Yeah,
from
and they did.
Craven.
So
So,
yeah, that's fair.
yeah, I think that was important to make, is they wanted to just get her out of there. Which again,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Spider-Man loves Black Cat. Hey, MJ's great. Spider-Man loves Black Cat. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, so the next set of missions were introduced to the Mysterio sidelines through Miles, and this is essentially building up to the Coney Island mission, which is a huge mission. But yeah, Mysterio is set up as a Miles sort of counter villain in this one, as you know, each character has their own set of missions and villains that they deal with here. And I guess we can just, well, you haven't finished Mysterio. Fuck. Anyway, it's really cool what happens at the end. So finish it and then come talk to me.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is really cool what happens at the end of the storyline. It's a M. Night Shyamalan twist. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah. But then it leads you to the first major reveal of this game. And it's not really a reveal because we all knew it was there. We all was waiting for it to happen. But while you spend a bunch of time at Coney Island with Harry, Miles, and that's not right, with Harry, MJ, and Peter, which is an awesome sequence. And I played everything I possibly could. I don't know if you did. I played every little mini game, I just did everything I possibly could in that mission. It builds
Oh
and
yeah, and I
builds.
wanted the prize too.
Oh yeah.
Because you get a prize if you do all of them, which is, well, I mean, we're in spoilers.
Yeah.
You can get like hats, and you could choose between a bunch of hats, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
love it.
It's simply just awesome, and it's another amazing character moment that we talked about in the review. The human moments of this game, I think they nail down a lot better than the first game. I think the human moments of the first game were pretty lacking. But the
There
human
wasn't
moments,
a lot of them, to be honest.
oh,
Yeah.
there was the whole science stuff with Peter in the lab,
True.
and yeah,
Yeah.
there was the MJ and Miles stuff that everybody hates. But this game did a lot better job of making Peter Parker just as important as Spider-Man, which I've always say is, well, and Miles, but which I always say is super important. But anyway, it leads to, the roller coaster collapse happens. I forgot exactly what the catalyst was. Someone attacks, don't they? Oh yeah, the people come for Tombstone. That's right. Craven's hunters come for Tombstone, and Tombstone's a good guy, another reform villain. And boom, Harry has the symbiote suit, which we all knew, but here's the first time the characters revealed it. He actually saves Peter Parker. Oh, he saves Spider-Man. And it's also at the exact same time revealed, which I thought was really cool, because Harry knows what Peter sounds like. And if he hears Spider-Man talk, he's going to know it's Peter. And then there was no hesitation. Spider-Man said one word, and Harry went, "Pete?" And boom, there it was. They got it out of the way.
Yeah.
The reveal was super quick, super realistic. Like I said, we all knew it was coming, but boom, Harry has a symbiote suit, saves Spider-Man, and we're off to the races. What do you think?
That whole mission was super cool. Again, it's very interactive, which again, I didn't really talk about it a lot during the actual review thing. I talked about it a little bit later. But I'm very impressed that this is probably one of the first games on PS5 that have actually utilized like a lot of the features that literally haven't been shown since Astrobot. So at a lot of these little arcade games, and I really liked the implementation of the little controller thing, like especially the bop it thing, where you use it to hit stuff in the game. And I just thought it was really cool, And in general, I think the story moment that by the end was freaking awesome. Because well, I guess we could start from the beginning more than anything. We didn't really talk about the fact that in the first thing with the Mysterio thing you go through, uh, it kind of continues to push and drive what kind of the plot is, and what they're trying to mostly kind of push towards is more like they're kind of trying to make it seem like Miles is wanting to kill um I already forgot his name.
Mr. Negative.
Mr. Negative.
Or if you want to say Martin Lee.
Because I mean, in a sense, he did almost kill him at the very beginning in the mission that where literally they were trying to stop Craven from
The boat scene, yeah.
capturing them. Yeah, and he almost let him sink and die. Who knows if he actually would have or not? We didn't really get a chance to fully see it before Craven and his band of crewmates got him out of there. Misfits, yeah, got him out of there.
The island of misfit toys.
But then now you had the whole mystery from then on of like Miles being like, is he already dead? Because after Spider-Man, I'm sure. I mean, well, Peter kind of told Miles that he killed Scorpion, so it was in my back of Miles' head that like actually Mr. Opposite is dead. And God damn it, I fucked it up, Mr. Negative, Mr.
Opposite. That made me laugh out loud, dude.
I can't
I
think
died
right
laughing. Now. Holy shit, that was unexpected. That came out of right field, man.
Yeah, well, okay. So
Mr. Negative.
Mr. Opposite. That's my favorite villain. Mr. Opposite.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Holy shit. Alright, continue on, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're good.
I was not ready for that.
But during the first little mission you do, which again, I didn't do all the Mysterio things. I've only done one extra. But the first, like, kind of them kind of showing you what basically a Mysterio thing is like. I guess it's a lot more different, the actual activities. I've only done one of them, and it seems a bit different. It seems like more like fighting challenges from what I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're the Taskmaster challenges from the first game.
Okay, so yeah, but in the first one, it's more like story-oriented. Like he's trying to show this kind of experience where you get to live out your fantasy. And clearly, Miles, unlike the other Miles, like from like the movies, he's more like wanting to be a DJ, I guess. Anyways, he's at the most pristine of pristine schools.
He wants to be a music producer. That's what he wants to go to school
for. Yeah. So, he clearly is like, you do this little DJ minigame, which was really fun. I thought that was really cool. I was having a good time with that, actually. I kind of wish, Loki, I kind of wish that was all of the Mysterio ones, that minigame, because honestly, I would have found that really enjoyable.
And the
I don't
song,
know.
It was the theme song that you were playing.
Yeah, I love it. It was so good. And again, it was a really cool little minigame. But at the very end, again, further pushes like it's like pushing that like his dad thinks he's a disappointment because like he isn't doing anything about Mr. Negative, not Mr. Opposite. And Mr. Negative again is further pushed with Miles, and Miles is like not only like how we talked about at the beginning of the game where he's already saw like the fact that he can barely hold on to a personal life and a Spider-Man life, but also now he has the pain from the first game of seeing his father get killed by this guy Mr. Negative, and he knows who he is. He wants to get revenge, or at least so we think.
I mean, he does at this point in the story.
He does. Yeah. So, yeah. Basically, we get to see the whole Peter thing where they ride the ride at the end, and basically the Kraven's Hunters come to attack to get Tombstone, which, by the way, was really cool because, again, further showing that a lot of the villains that Spider-Man has actually worked with are actually changing for the better.
Yeah.
They're not as evil anymore, which is kind of cool.
They're because just continually always bad people.
Yeah, like, it's cool to see that, like, actually some of the villains he's tried to change for the better have changed better, or at least trying to be better.
Reformed.
Yeah, and so that was a awesome fight. Honestly, I loved being able to fight like on the little go-kart course and all that. And also, it's really cool if you go back there, you can like literally go through the entire courses and actually see people driving around on go-karts. The amount of detail, even on the roller coaster, you can see actually like human beings on the roller coaster, like actually having a good time when you're zipping around over there. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
I did think it was kind of funny. Like after the roller coaster collapses, I went back there like the very next day in the game, and everything's fixed. I was like, damn, that was fast,
dude. That's efficiency, right? Yeah,
that's that New York efficiency. But essentially,
it's that roller coaster tycoon. They just hit the button and.
Essentially, this whole scene reminded me a lot of like Final Destination 3 and the opening scene with the roller coaster, just absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Please tell me you've seen a Final. All right. So we're back again. For us, it's very choppy. For you guys, it's seamless as we can make it. But so yeah, Harry saves Peter. Do you have anything left to say before we move on? I don't even remember what you were saying. It was 20 minutes ago. So
I don't think there's really much more to add to it.
Okay.
Other than I thought it was a really good. Again, very well done scene. That
Very.
whole mission, I know it's not the most exciting mission in the game, but I really, really like it because
But
yes,
it's
it's story
Spider-Man.
and it's about Peter Parker
Yeah.
and Spider-Man at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, and then we move on from that. The next mission, next group submission is dealing with Peter and Harry, experimenting about the powers and learning about the powers. And my spider nerd got a huge boner here because I don't know if you know who Agent Venom is. Agent
No.
Venom is a short-lived character in the comics that actually Flash Thompson becomes in the comics, and he wears the exact suit that Harry wears in here. So
Oh, really?
they made Harry Agent Venom, which is a whole like separate storyline of Flash Thompson's character, and I nerded out when Harry came in with the Agent Venom suit, and I was like, "Yo, this is awesome!" And it also gave me this hint. I'm like, I know we're getting Black Suit Spider-Man. I know Venom's in this game, but them showing us Agent Venom, I'm like, is there gonna be like a third? Is like Eddie Brock actually in this game and they've just been hiding it this whole time? Spoiler alert. I mean, we're in the middle of a spoiler cast. That's not what happened, but it did give me that second of thought. I'm like, if this is Agent Venom, they're taking a different route with this than we all expected. And whether you think it's good or bad, they didn't take a different route. But yes, so essentially you team up with Agent Venom a la Harry Osborn and you save Tombstone after he got captured during the Coney Island incident. And you start to see a little bit of the symbiote anger coming out here. Just a slight bit. So, and we all know it's there. It's present. And pretty much I would say from the Coney Island mission on, in my mind, is when the story flips the switch. The first couple sets of missions, I was focusing a lot on the open world stuff, just kind of laissez-faire my way through the game. And once the Coney Island mission happens, the majority of my playtime till I ran credits was story missions. I just couldn't get enough. It had such a forward momentum and progress. I couldn't stop. I would do a couple things here and there, but I just kept
I'll
going
tell you when
along.
I started just going hard on missions. It
zoo?
wasn't this one yet.
It was a zoo.
Yeah, it was actually probably the zoo.
Yeah, well, the zoo is the other one,
I
but
think
this
that's
one,
literally what made me just be like, I can't stop. Like, I literally just want to keep going with the story. Like,
Yeah.
if I stop, it just feels off.
Yeah.
Like, I need to keep going.
But I will say, dude, when Harry caught the freaking roller coaster and you saw the symbiote tendrils, I giggled like a little schoolgirl. I was like, this is so fucking cool. I love this shit so much. I just love Spider-Man, dude. He's my favorite of all time.
I love Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. But anyway, yeah. So you save Tombstone. You see a little bit of Harry's anger. Then we have a short little interlude where Miles. Another side quest is kind of set up via main story quest. They do that quite a bit. They set up some of the side quest activities through main story quest, which can be bad, but I thought they pulled it off fairly well here considering the score that we gave it. You investigate a museum robbery, and have you got to the end of the museum robbery storyline?
Of what? You cut out.
Have you gotten to the end of like the museum like collectibles?
Yeah.
Oh, the dude's so fucking good. Also, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a dick. That was a turn of events that I did not see coming at all. I was like, yo,
really?
Yeah, I did not see him being.
Well,
the
guy.
I
mean, I didn't either, honestly, because like, I was a little surprised. It wasn't like the world's greatest surprise, but it was definitely a good one because I was just like, because especially when we got there and he was just like, "Where is it?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like that's okay, all right.
Yeah, I just didn't see.
I will admit his reasoning was very fucking lame, but other than that, I liked that little DLC. Did I just say that? I swear, this is my brain right now. Like I'm saying Mr. Opposite. What the fuck am I saying anymore?
Saying DLC.
Side mission. It was really good. Okay, I liked it. They brought up some funny, little Easter eggs, especially about like some of the music things. I thought that was cool. Better than that, yeah, I mean, it was a cool little side mission. I didn't think it really added a ton, other than I like it because it's showing kind of the progress of Miles since his game and him becoming more and more of that like neighborhood Spider-Man, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean,
And I like that. And it's like it's almost like an episode of like watching Spider-Man. That's kind of how it felt. Like I felt like I was watching this short little episode of the Spider-Man when I played those little side missions. Not DLC, side missions.
and also
So,
one little nugget we've got to mention during when you're playing the couple missions where Harry is coming to grips with the symbiote suit and all that. Every once in a while, the suit reaches out for Peter, which I thought was just a beautiful
yes.
detail because we all know.
Especially at the end of the Tombstone mission where he does grab onto him and then he's like, "Wait, what's that on your chest?" And then it had basically the Spider-Man symbol on it and he's like, "Huh. That's kind of weird." Like and I'm like, yeah, I like that. That was
Well,
fucking
because we
cool."
all know the symbiote loves power, and
Mhm.
honestly, there's probably not another more powerful being in this universe than Spider-Man. So
Thor is existing. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Thor hasn't been confirmed to be existing yet, but
Sure, yeah.
I guess
We see Captain America though.
The Avengers do
We did
exist.
see yeah.
Oh, during the picture thing, did you see
Yes, yeah, he's
the
throwing the
frisbee,
little
the Captain
yes.
America frisbee? Yeah, it's cool. All right, and then after they introduce the kind of museum stuff, and you can play through those side activities if you want, we get to the big one. What I think is the true big set piece game moment for the middle of the game, the zoo mission. We talked about it in the review. Those of you, if you haven't played it, you probably don't know what we're talking about. If you're here and you still haven't played it, you either don't care or I don't know why you're still here. But the mission, I think, is brilliantly paced and set up. You start with the MJ sequence where you're playing in a stealth mission and you're going through essentially Craven's one of his home bases, not his true home base, but one of his big bases, or like
Yeah, this is the one that you can go around and actually look at the tables with
yeah,
all the
and
people that died.
find
This is the mission where it really surprised me because I was like,
yeah,
oh shit, there's actually more than just like Scorpion that we know of that actually have been captured. It's people, and I like that because Spider-Man can't be everywhere at once. So it's cool to learn that some did slip through and some did die.
and the
But
whole,
you do kind of also get the idea that Mr. Negative, not Mr. Opposite. Mr. Opposite sadly wasn't there. But Mr. Negative was definitely
sadly sadly didn't make an appearance in this game. He had other
yeah.
things to do.
He's one of my favorite characters from
Yeah, yeah. The
Spider-Man.
Rogues Gallery.
Uh, yes, but he didn't he was on the table, so clearly we're getting that teaser that clearly Mr.
Mr. Opposite's
Mr.
coming in.
Negative isn't dead. Um,
But yeah,
but
don't.
I will say again, this is one of those MJ missions that I didn't hate. Like I thought it was pretty good. And again, she's actually like useful and she's can do things. And I was like, this is nice. This is a good refresher. Like I felt like I wasn't like, oh, I had to constantly throw things and run and throw things and run. It was like I could actually attack. And I liked that. It was really nice. It
Question:
was
why is the stealth so much better in the MJ sequences than it is in the Spider-Man
I know.
sequences?
I
The
do think
stealth
that
is
is
actually
very
good here. Maybe just because you're so powerful as Spider-Man. Anyway, the whole setup of why you're here, you're trying to rescue Kurt Connors, who has been captured by Craven, and you're trying to save him. And then MJ infiltrates the base, lets Peter and Harry know that he's here, and you get your first big battle with Craven. And it's all eventually, well, it's a long mission. It's like an hour-long mission. This mission takes a while. And it all
Mhm.
winds around to Peter Parker dying at the hands of Craven, which is, I mean, it happened in Craven's last hunt of the comic books. Craven always kills Spider-Man. And then just as Spider-Man loses his life, which by the way, dude, I had chills watching this scene. I knew what was coming. I knew it. I mean, it didn't really play its
Yeah.
cards close to the chest. You knew it was happening, but the acting and the performances was so well done, and the emotion was built up with Harry coming back and everything. The whole first part of the game built to this moment, I think, beautifully, and it crescendos with the symbiote going over to Peter and Black Suit Spider-Man coming, which we've all been waiting for. But God, what a goddamn
That
mission, dude.
that section 2 was so fucking cool, man. Like, as soon as you get the symbiote suit on, that, in my opinion, is my favorite abilities you get from Peter Parker throughout the entire
Yeah.
game. As
Well,
soon
not
as you
just
get
that,
those,
just
oh, they're
this
so good.
mission set And once Craven kills Peter, well, before Peter actually dies, but once Craven stabs Peter and MJ's desperately trying to get him out, the backdrop is Harry and the symbiote just going to fucking
Yes.
town on Craven, and you see that anger, but it's framed so well that it comes in sporadically as you as MJ trying to get Peter out of there as he slowly dies in MJ's arms. And God, what a fucking scene, dude. What a
Yeah,
goddamn
it was
scene, dude.
it was it was pretty fucking cool.
It was amazing. And then, yep, the symbiote goes right on. And then also, it's just awesome. It's this really cool moment. Like, finally, Black Suit's here. But then you realize they set all this up. Harry doesn't have the black suit, which was the only thing. Harry doesn't have the symbiote, which is the only thing that was saving his life. And it's like, it's so many emotions being pulled in so many different directions. And like I said, the first half of the game had built to this moment, and I do not think they messed it up. I think everything that they wanted to do lands here. The emotion of Peter dying at the hands of Craven, dying in MJ's arm, getting the black suit, the realization of Harry is essentially doomed to go back down the sickness which had ailed him for years. Everything is just chef's kiss top notch here. It really is Insomniac just flexing their fucking muscles at you as a player, man. They're just saying, yeah, we know we're good at this shit, all right? Enjoy it. All right.
Yeah, it was again. I remember because I played that mission before you, and then you went to it and you sent me a text message like, "I played that mission, so good," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I love that mission. It was so fucking good." And again, that was the big turning point in my opinion, and that's when I just got super obsessed with the story because I'm like,
Whoa.
now I feel like there's this random clock in the back of my head, like I have to keep going, I have to keep playing, I have to keep getting through the story, and yeah. So
Well, this is why I skipped
let's go
school the
on to the
next
next one.
day and played pretty much the rest of the game. Because
Yeah,
I played 12 hours that next day, dude. I couldn't stop. But yeah, so the next couple sets of missions, um, Peter and the gang are trying the best that they can to save Dr. Connors, who
it's
obviously,
gonna. Yeah, because like he's like the only one that could possibly figure out how to get the suit off of Peter. Because at the time, Peter has no clue how to get it back. Like they go back to the Foundation, and he attempts to figure out a way to get the suit back, but he can't. So they have to find Dr. Connors, and as we didn't talk about yet, but basically Dr. Connors does get injected from Craven. Mary J wasn't there in time to stop it. Like she was there, she was about to get him out. Craven shows
yeah,
up
but
all menacingly,
you're,
basically just goes yeet, and then
yeah,
just grabs him
oh,
and sticks him with a needle and injects him. They try to possibly get him a serum, but again, Craven shows up in time, takes it, puts it on his neck, and we get Lizard back again. And yeah, then
it's a supersized lizard.
yeah, like super lizard
Yeah.
basically. And so now Peter has the mission to go find the lizard in order to basically cure, hopefully find a cure or get the symbiote back to Harry because he doesn't know about the repercussions of having the symbiote on
Yeah.
yet.
And that's like I
Um,
said, the whole next couple suits, you infiltrate Craven's party, and you get some more details and history on Craven and his family, which is really fucked up if you read into it.
which, by the
It's
way, that mission pissed me off. Not because of anything story wise or anything. It's a certain fucking mission, and it was the part where you have to grab the meat and give it
the
to the
meat,
fucking tiger.
which is
Dude,
funny.
this,
I saw the meat and I was like, "Oh, this is what he was talking about." So I knew exactly how to do it.
yeah, because literally I would constantly be like, oh, like I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, there's a roof. This is like normal thing. Shot up the roof, went all the way down, and it would like pop up for like a fragment of a second, and it just wouldn't let me do it. And I thought again my game was broken, so I kept restarting, until finally I sat there and I was about to give up and be like, I'm done, I'm quitting. I can't stand this. I can't continue through the game. And then it was just like press aim and press triangle to shoot the web line out. And then I did that, and then it worked immediately. And I'm like, well, that was annoying. Like I was like, why did I have to do it that way? Why couldn't I have done it the other way? It would have worked
Yeah.
either way. But for some reason, the game is very specific at that part, and
The
that
only
was the
part.
only part in the game that is ever like that. And I don't know why it was like that, but it was really annoying. So yeah, but that mission was really cool. It was cool going through and It was kind of funny too, because like Peter thought this one guy was like his bodyguard, and he's like, do I look like his bodyguard? I'm like, you look kind of big, and he's like, no, he's up there, and then we figure out Kraven's bodyguard is a tiger, so it kind of reminded me a lot of Uncharted, that whole mission, like a lot. Yeah, like heavily.
The party scene of Uncharted 4. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get the antidote. You go back to the Emily May Foundation, and they try to synthesize it using the particle accelerator, which is funny because every time someone says particle accelerator, I think Flash from the CW. That's the whole reason how he gets his powers. But anyway, and then Kraven attacks. And you fend off attack, and you essentially destroy the entirety of the Emily May Foundation. It is leveled, essentially.
But the particle accelerator stays.
Yeah, it's good to go. Because we need it for the end of the game.
Everything else gets destroyed, but the particle accelerator, yeah, that bad boy's sturdy. They spent their money correctly there.
There's a quick interlude where you start to hunt down some drones, which is my least favorite side mission, following these fucking drones.
Yeah, that mission is
There's all of them. I mean, I did them all, but they're annoying and I don't like them. And that's what's funny is I finished this set of side quests after the Venom quest, and it was very off because you're learning about Kraven hunting people. Anywho, that leads you to you're pursuing Lizard through the tunnels. First time Miles sees Peter in the new suit, and I love the interaction where Miles just goes, new suit, and Peter doesn't even say anything to him.
Yeah.
Just looks at him, and it's like...
Again, this mission, kind of like as we already saw this mission, was, in my opinion, the big turning point when he starts to become asshole Spider-Man, basically. He becomes
symbiote.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I call him the asshole Spider-Man, where he literally just becomes an absolute dick to literally everyone. So, hey, it's in character. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, we kind of already got this all ruined. So, I mean, even in spoilers or not, you kind of saw this entire mission. Mostly.
Still great. It's still super fun to play.
Yeah, it's still absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I'm still kind of blown away how like good it looked, because it's just the whole mission was just action packed. It was really cool. And then Miles at the end, again, as you saw, kind of was like, man, Peter seems more assholey than usual. Is he usually like that? Is his little fucking, I already forgot his name, I don't care. His little tech guy, the guy behind Peter. But basically,
I just said his name. Why'd I get that look from you? I said it's not my fault. I remember the character's name.
How dare you? But he's like, is Peter usually like that? And he's like,
Captain Opposite. No,
no, it's Mr. Opposite.
Oh, my bad. So I forgot your made-up villain name. My apologies.
I'm gonna look him up now. I need to see if he's real.
I'm sure, not in Spider-Man, he's not. But
yeah, but yeah. So it was kind of like that first thing of like. Miles is starting to figure out like something really isn't right with Peter. And yeah, you get the whole next section where you get to play as Peter and you're basically hunting down the lizard, but you figure out a little discovery that you find the secret lab that Oscorp has down below, of where they basically have been holding the symbiote and where they have been doing all the tests to the point where they gave it to Harry, basically. And you get a little, I think that's also the mission, you get a little cutscene of like the past, when you also weirdly learn, I didn't know this is how he was going to lose his arm, but you also learn how the lizard loses his arm, which I thought was a little weird, but I was like, okay. I think he was a little... I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was a bit dramatic, to say the least, on why he lost his arm. He literally blasts his arm off with the fucking gun. I'm like, okay, all right, like that was kind of a weird way to lose an arm. Like, and the thing is, no one else has that reaction with the symbiote, but for some reason, not Lizard at the time, but he really hated that symbiote. I kind of laughed at that part. I didn't really feel sorry for him, but that was still cool because we got to see how they discovered it. Yeah, you figure out as Peter that, oh shit, this thing is alien. It's not from Earth. What the fuck? I'm wearing an alien, as he literally says after the mission.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
and
cool
that was just
because
cool.
the whole time I thought, I'm like, man, are they really gonna make like symbiote something that was like created in a lab? I'm not on board with that. And then you get it's still the
I know.
symbiote. It is the
Yes.
symbiote suit, which was a great reveal. They kind of hit it from me. I loved that. And yeah, then you lead to the boss fight with the lizard where you really unleash the symbiote on him. And let me tell you what, this boss
Hmm.
fight kicked my fucking ass, dude. This
Oh, it
boss fight
did
was
for a while
rough.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but great mechanics. All the boss fights in this game, I think, are so much better than the first game, dude. We've already talked about gameplay and all that, so I don't want to sip too far into it. But, yeah, awesome. And then you get to what is one of my favorite sequences in the entire video game. And you play as MJ during this sequence when Peter goes ape shit. When the
Oh yeah, like
symbiotes, the wake up
he
mission,
goes.
when he
Yeah,
falls
he
asleep.
goes back home after all this, and he's still being kind of what happened before that?
Well,
I
it
thought there was
was
something that happened right before that too.
well, no, he just fights the lizard, does all that, and he's like, I'm really tired, and he goes back home.
Oh
And
no,
then
yeah, because the lizard. So after he fights the lizard, gives him the cure. They go back to the lab, and he's like, "Dude, like, you don't understand what you're wearing right now. It is changing you for the worse." Like he's like, "You need to get it off. I need to eliminate it." And especially at this moment, this is when Peter went full fucking Venom mode. He was like, "We will not be eliminated." And basically, you could tell at this point, Venom is really truly taking control of Peter at this point. I mean, especially in this next mission where Peter just leaves, scaring. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Dr. Connors scares him, and he leaves. And he's like, guesses he's a pissed off mood. He's like, and then like Miles' mom calls because like think he's, or no, that was that after. I'm getting mixed up now. So basically, he goes home. Okay,
he
he goes
goes
home.
home, goes to sleep.
Yeah, because
Craven comes for the symbiote, messes with MJ, and the symbiote takes over and goes absolutely apeshit. And I
yeah,
love that we play as MJ through this sequence.
yeah, it was
You
cool.
play as MJ, and just Peter is, well, it's not even really Peter. He's asleep. The symbiote
Hmm.
is wrecking havoc. And then you have the horror sequence of you walking through the tunnels as MJ, and the symbiote is just wrecking Peter, man. It's going insane. And it's a shift. You go from Black Suit Spider-Man to the symbiote. It's where you
Hmm.
become the symbiote. And I love that it's represented in the suit itself. I love that you switch to the symbiote suit. I think it's awesome. And yeah, and then you have a short little interlude where MJ, Harry, and Peter all meet up, and Harry is coming to the realization where, he's going to die without the suit. And Peter's like, fuck you, dude. You don't deserve the suit. And Peter's a dick. Peter's a massive dick.
Yes, it did.
I do
And
think
then
I want to give credit real quick to Insomniac. This scene could have gone Spider-Man 3, but they didn't. They walked that line really closely, but they
yeah,
didn't go over to him snapping coming out in a fucking three-piece. Thank God. But
yeah,
yeah, this was
I was kind of hoping there was somewhere in the game an Easter egg where you could do that. Just at least once. That's
uh
all I wanted.
but yeah, it's a big confrontation. Miles and
Well, and we're forgetting the fact that Miles gets captured too before that. Because it's during the time that so Miles shows up because MJ calls him and
that's right,
says
that's
like
right. Yeah, yeah.
something's wrong, and basically Miles gets tricked into thinking this one guy is a construction worker, ends up saving him, and that construction worker is one of the hunters and basically injects him, and they capture him in order to use him as bait, basically, to get Peter, or as known now as the symbiote, basically, to come and find him. Well, obviously, Peter wakes up the next morning on a bench, being like, the fuck happened?
He went on
Like,
a
I had
bender.
a.
Peter
Well,
went on
and
a bender.
also, we're forgetting about the scene that literally, like, he becomes so symbiote that, like, MJ tries to get him out of it, but the symbiote thinks that she is attacking him. So the symbiote ends up going full fucking monster mode, and it becomes like a horror game of you running away. Again, I actually really like that mission. Again, another good MJ mission. Like that was cool. It was showing like that she isn't super powerful or anything. Like it was actually like a horror game. Like it was cool. I really, really liked that mission. Again, it was a unique and different perspective than just you playing as the. I don't think it would have had the same impact if you actually were playing Peter that entire mission, in my opinion. Obviously that's just my opinion. So
Oh, the MJ mission's cool. Sorry, we're having
yeah, it was really good. I
some
swear,
issues.
I don't know why, but like literally nothing else is going out but my camera and my mic immediately. All I hear is ba-bunk, and then everything turns off immediately all at the same. I'm sure before these pauses, you guys keep seeing me freezing or doing something weird every time. It's so frustrating. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. Okay, so yeah, again, these two MJ missions, fantastic. We haven't gotten to the negative yet, but those two, very good. I actually really like it. Again, perspective. It kind of just it's really fascinating that they chose that route, but I like it because it was different. It wasn't just you playing as the symbiote in that scene. You get to see it from a different perspective, and I liked it. So,
And then we go on. Miles is captured, so I think this is another just top tier scene where
mhm.
Craven forces you to fight um
Mr.
Mr.
Opposite.
Opposite,
Just kidding. I just gave
Mr.
Mr.
Negative,
Negative.
Martin Lee. And there's this whole internal struggle. I forgot
Well,
exactly.
before that, I do want to throw in one thing I really
You are
liked is
interjecting a
and
lot.
well, okay, but there was something that happened before the scene. Let me interject about something I really liked about this. I really like that they showed as a character that he has no fucking clue what is happening in the outside world at that point. He actually believes that maybe Craven has captured his mom, his friend, everyone, and further pushing his worry because he's trying to kind of push away his social life and be just Spider-Man. And he now believes that he's put everyone in danger. His mom, his friend, and all that. And he's like, are they dead? Are that like all the worry? I like that a lot. That was really cool because like again, I would have that same opinion if I was Spider-Man and I had friends and all these people helping me out, and I'm captured. Who and how he is, Craven, how much he just kills people. He doesn't give a shit. Like I would be worried too, and I just found that I don't know, just found that pretty cool. I found that to be very interesting. So
Very interessante.
very interessant.
Oh, anyway, yeah,
Yes,
you have a fight with Martin Lee, and this
it's
is
cool.
good fight. It's similar to the first game's fight with Mr. Lee, but Mr.
Yeah.
Lee, I combine the two names with Mr. Negative. Uh, but yeah, this is the first time you really see Miles decide that he wants to be different than Peter, and he wants to try to save as many people as he can, and he forgives Martin Lee through this mission and helps. Well, doesn't really forgive him. We'll get to that scene later, but
Hmm.
helps him escape, help him just go off and live his life free. And then Peter comes in and keeps wrecking everything. And then Peter just is destroying everything in this game right now at this point. Which leads us to. By the way, I'm trying to move through this faster for you. Which leads us to the confrontation between Miles and Peter. And what a moment, man. You play as Miles trying to save Peter from the symbiote.
Wait, we're jumping real far here.
That's literally the next mission. I'm going to mission
Well,
1.
no, we're missing the whole thing where, well, I guess yeah, he did forgive him, but he more just like threw. Well, it was kind of cool because so like basically, Miles, as he did choose, he didn't escape with Martin Lee. He actually threw Martin Lee out.
Yeah, he helps him escape. I
In
said
order
that.
to go, well, yeah, in order to go find Peter to go save him. And it was kind of cool because again, it brings back the first game because the thing is, Peter finds Martin Lee in front of the feast. And again, I really like this because this is a very good continuation of what happened in the first game, and we do get to actually learn more about why Martin Lee did the things he did, and the way that he feels about what he did in the first game, and how he honestly didn't really want to become that way, and the people he's hurt and all that. Um, but yeah, now next mission was you said wait, no,
Hey,
Peter goes to save Miles next.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
this is our first actual boss fight with Craven.
No, you find him in the zoo.
Yeah, that's where you go to save Miles.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
You literally go in, guns a-blazing, pissed off as can be, just absolutely, like, literally, you just go in demolishing everyone. And then basically Peter's like, come at me, bitch, basically. And, then it becomes this big fight in the arena. Craven continues to make him mad by showing Miles all beat up, which, by the way, I didn't really think he looked that beat up, but, Peter really did. He really thought he was, like, messed up. So, he basically was like, I'm gonna absolutely murder you. And so they get thrown out to another arena, Mortal Kombat style, and it becomes a big fight out there. And then, basically, just right about the moment when Peter's about to absolutely kill Craven, which, by the way, throughout that, we also learned, by the way, as a flashback, we learned that Craven actually has cancer, and the big reason why he actually wants to kill or he wants to die by such a big foe, like he wants the best hunt possible, is because he doesn't want to die by cancer. He wants to die by something he feels is worthy enough. And throughout this entire fight, basically Venom is like, "You weak ass bitch, you cancer ass bitch," and I'm like, "God damn, dude, just throw cancer out while you're at it. Fuck you, dude." But yeah, right when he's about to kill him, and Craven's about to get the world's greatest orgasm because he's like, "Yes, like he's like, please kill me, please." Miles,
World's greatest orgasm.
Miles comes in with the biggest cock block of all time and smacks him away.
Oh man, we're really destroying a serious moment here, but that's okay. Yeah. Miles cock blocking.
It becomes the biggest bro fight of all time, where basically Miles versus Peter Parker, which was kind of cool because it's like two Spider-Men fighting each other. I don't know, it was really cool, and it was also really cool because the whole fight, the entire time as Peter, you were worried about the bell ringing. You were trying to keep Craven away from it. But then it literally flips, and they're using the same arena, and now you are Miles trying to use
the bell.
Yeah. And that was fucking cool. I love that. Also, every bit of the detail and Venom making all these different fucking tentacle webs and everything, it was so cool, dude. The environment, it was just
saying Venom. He's not Venom yet.
Oh, sorry. The symbiote. The symbiote that was taking control of Peter, which is therefore going to be Venom, future tense. Yes. But basically, basically Miles stops him. He's like, dude,
Miles stops
this isn't you. He rips the suit off all fucking Spider-Man 3 Sam Raimi style, ripping it off and everything. And then they get it in a tube. And this is a really awkward moment for me because I decided to do side missions while having it on, which felt so weird because I'm like in all these cutscenes where like they're talking about like all nice things, and I'm like, I still have the symbiote on my back, and I'm like, this is really weird. But
see, I think I did one side mission, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, it felt weird. So yeah, you go to the next mission where crippled Harry somehow kicks super strong Peter's ass and drops a very important thing that is holding the symbiote, and Harry gets the symbiote back. I still think it's kind of funny that like crippled ass Harry, dying, like straight up about to die, just comes up to Peter, who is like 10 times stronger than him, and he just goes, "Gah!" It drops the glass, and I'm like, what? Peter, you have the world's greatest reflexes. You dodge bullets, you dodge cars, you stop trains, but a cane, that's his biggest weakness.
Hey, don't underestimate the cane, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
So
I think this is... I think this is one of the most mind-blowing things about this game that I did not expect. Yes, the symbiote zaps to Harry out of desperation, need, and power, and Venom is created. And then the camera rotates around, and boom, you're playing as Venom. And I fucking nerdgasmed all over my TV, dude. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And it's only one mission, but it's surprising because there was actually like a decent amount of detail and ability put into you playing as Venom for what is probably, 10, 15, 20 minutes tops when you play as Venom.
Which kind of sucks because I'm not going to lie, at that moment, I'm like, wait a minute. They took away the powers from Peter, so we can't use them anymore. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is Venom gonna become a good guy? And I'm like, that's what I was thinking at the moment. Because I was like, no way. He actually, like, we were right. I'm like, he's gonna be the third playable character. That's what's gonna happen. Well, that didn't happen.
He
But
technically is
we're
the
in
third.
spoilers.
Technically, he's the fourth playable character.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, and the thing is too, especially the biggest cock tease ever, dude. Like they literally kept being like, oh, like they kept introducing new abilities, and I'm like, this is really feeling like he's gonna be a new character. He's gonna be the third one. Again, no, but it was really cool, this mission, dude. It felt like the Incredible Hulk. You were just fucking plowing through all these people, straight up killing them. Like, they are not hiding anything. Like, he's just fucking breaking their back or biting them and everything. I'm like, this is freaking cool.
yeah.
And
the mission all builds to this big confrontation with Kraven the Hunter, and you get to at least that Kraven orgasm all over the place. Because Venom eats his head.
Yeah, he bites his head off.
Yeah,
and
bites his head off.
The most blood I've seen in an Insomniac game, because holy shit, yeah, he just bites it off and just, yeah, and
Kraven's dead.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought the Spider-Man were gonna come to save the day again, but no, he's dead. And I'm like, you know what? Thank God, because like that was cool. I was hoping that he was gonna get his death that he wanted. So, yeah, he got his orgasm that he's wanting. Next part.
Next part
Harry's like, what the fuck? Why'd I do this? And he goes to his grave. And at this point, Venom truly has taken over him and has kind of like made him like, oh, he's like, don't you want to change the world? Look what we can do. And at first I was like, wait a minute, he did all that shit. And then I'm like, oh, it's just like him seeing a vision of what he wants to do to the world and everything. And this is the third act, in which, by the way, is a very short act.
A lot happens.
Very short act.
That's for
yeah, a lot happens. I'll tell you that. But
it's
the
all
shortest act
very, very quick back to back. And yeah. I think it's awesome that it's quick back to back. I wish it would have been longer, yes, but I don't really think it's bad in any way. It's just quick.
It's not bad. It's just I wish, which is weird to say again, but I really do wish it was just a tidbit longer.
Yeah, I wish we spent more time with them. But anyway, we'll go through some of these things. Venom, the game essentially becomes the Ultimate Spider-Man game from the PS2, where Venom takes over the city. You fight all of his symbiote suits, which are fun to fight, but also kind of annoying at times. And then you meet up back at the house. I'm skipping over a lot of shit, by the way. We're going long here. You meet up back at the house, and Venom creates I forgot her name. Scream, I think it is.
Scream, yeah.
Scream. Takes over MJ and creates Scream. By the way, this whole boss fight is amazing because it's just MJ as Scream talking all sorts of shit to Peter about the fucking awful relationship that they're in, and it's amazing.
Peter Parker gets bitched out by his girlfriend for like a couple minutes, but it's a cool boss fight. But it is really funny because she's like, "You can't even keep a job. I'm paying all the bills," and I'm like, all right, bitch him out, tell him how it is.
But that's what Venom.
You see all the girls in the back.
Yeah. Venom preys on the people's insecurities. That's one of his core tenets of his character. He preys, the symbiote preys on the insecurities to be able to overtake and control people. And like I said, we're going very quickly here, but awesome boss fight, awesome scene, super emotional ending where you save MJ and all that, and oh, I love you, and the big kiss that everyone's been waiting for. It's cool, it's emotional, it's well done. And then you go to what I think is a pretty important mission where you as Miles and Martin Lee save Peter from the residual symbiote that is still inside of him from him being connected. And Peter becomes anti-Venom. And it's awesome.
Opposite Venom.
I wasn't expecting anti-Venom to be in here, but man, when that fucking white suit comes out, I nerdgasm again. I nerdgasm a lot during this game, alright? It's so fucking cool as shit.
I was absolutely pumped, mainly because I got my powers back.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sorry, but I hate the spider leg abilities. I'm like, please give me back the venom abilities. And I'm like, okay, good, we got him back. Because I was like, man, I wasted a lot of skill points for no reason into that skill tree. But I'm like, okay, never mind. It was good. It was worth it. So yeah, that was really cool. And also, in my opinion, it felt like you could really kick those fucking venom, the venom mites, whatever you want to call them, his little ghoulies. You can really kick ass now. I felt like, I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I felt so much stronger as soon as I got that. I'm like, dude, I was just tearing them apart after that. I was like, man, I can actually go do the hives now. You could just fucking demolish them, dude. It was so easy after that point, in my opinion. But so I guess we can just jump right to it, right to where we're at, where it's the trio gets together to plan out the big fight.
Well, I think there's an important scene where Miles and Martin Lee come to an understanding, and he says, "Look, I'll never forgive you. I'm never gonna get over
Yeah.
it, but we're cool." And I think it's Miles' character throughout this game. We're skipping over a lot of his stuff because there's a lot of Venom stuff to get through and all that. But man, Miles' character is so fucking cool.
And then the 2008 Transformers song plays while Martin Lee walks away. Autobots out there.
What I've done.
Yeah. Credits start to roll.
Michael Bay.
Yeah,
No.
Michael Bay's.
And then you know, Venom gets the chip, takes over the city, yada yada yada. It all leads to a big fight with you and Venom. And I do think they Insomniac wrote themselves into a corner with this one because they set up that Harry needs the suit to live, right? He needs the suit to survive. And as I'm playing it, I'm like, so Harry has to die. And I'm like, we just did this twice with Aunt May,
and then Miles, his best friend.
Yeah, starts with an F.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name, but I was like, we just had the tragic. Starts with an F. I don't remember her name. I'm like, we just had back-to-back tragic, close-knit people dying at the end of these games, and I was like, man, we're really gonna set this up again, and they don't do that. Harry survives, although he's in a coma for who knows how long, and I don't really know how I feel. I love the ending. But also, it's like it doesn't make a lot of sense with what you set up. But then again, I guess, his injuries or his disease isn't instantaneous. There's clearly a progression that has to happen. So he's restarted that progression again, I guess, is that whole setup. And then we get what I'm so fucking excited, man. We get the scene. Norman Osborn in green.
Oh, we're just skipping all that?
Well, we just went through the ending. We're talking about the whole ending.
We're not going to talk about the awesome planning out that they did, and
the
also,
funny
let's just
scene.
talk about Well, I also just want to talk about how horrible some of the part of this ending is, but yeah.
Okay, well the MJ stuff isn't great, but the rest of it's cool.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah.
It's honestly the worst part of the ending because the rest of it is fantastic.
It's the worst part of the game, in my opinion,
because
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't. It's a stain at the end of the game, and honestly, they could probably just completely remove that section, and it would fit so much better. Like, she just sneaks in and she gets it. Fine. I don't need to see how she gets it.
Or just give me like a 5-minute cutscene. I don't know.
Yeah, but like the fact that they wrote themselves into this and they added this entire section where basically they give her a fucking just god gun where she just goes in and blasts and these people just die instantly, which is, by the way, if you play this game, you understand these enemies are a pain in the ass to fight. Like, it takes a lot to kill them, and you learn that very quickly, but she goes in with a gun that Spider-Man made himself and just kills them in one shot. And then she even fights the big guy, these big ones that are really fucking hard to fight. They do some damage on you. She kills them in like four hits, 4 or 5 hits. And then that's it. And she just gets out of there. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I'll defend it a little bit.
Peter, you are that smart, but you can't make it for yourself? Or Miles? Like, if they all had it, I could give them the benefit of the doubt. I can give it all the benefit of the doubt. But the fact that you gave MJ this weapon and then you never decided to give it to yourself or Miles, why?
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
I'll
It's
defend it
really
a little bit
dumb.
because she's still like defensively weak. You die in 2 hits.
Well,
So, like,
yeah. I
I'll
mean,
give it
she's not
that,
like
but
them where she can get hit around a lot. But
yeah.
I mean, honestly, even the Spider-Man aren't really that strong either. They can get killed in like 3 hits if you don't heal up.
Man, you need to level up your character because
Okay, well,
you and me played a very different ending to this game.
okay, well, yeah, I basically played the end on hard mode because I didn't have everything maxed out.
Yes, and I was level
But
60 by this time, so
yeah, I was like 49, I believe. Yeah,
but
49 or 50. But yeah,
anyway,
other than that little stain at the end of the game, the only part that I really just truly did not like, because again, as I said, like the Year 2 MJ parts, um, I thought the ending was really good. I thought the fight was really cool because they go back to their high
high
school,
school.
and that's where they bring up this kind of really fucking cool, like they ripped apart the gymnasium that had like all the DJ stuff that was cool. They had like the football field and all that, and honestly, that whole design of it was really really cool. And the fight was hard. For me at least, mainly because he started to throw in his little fucking Goonies, and the Goonies started to piss me off because I basically was constantly tapping the parry button because they're fucking constantly attacking. It wasn't bad, I'm not mad about it, but man, it was kind of tough because I was like constantly having to hit parry and get away as quick as possible. Because man, he threw a lot of people at you at the end. I'm like, holy shit!
I
Like this
do
was testing everything I had throughout the game.
I do want to try to mainline the game, strictly just doing the story, just to see how hard it is at the end. Because I didn't
Yeah,
mainline the game because I had everything. Everything
yeah.
was upgraded, everything was unlocked. I had like 3 or 4 gadget uses for each thing. I was just popping them out, stunning them. So it wasn't that hard of a fight for me, but it was an overall enjoyable fight, visually super impressive, like Logan said. I still don't know how I feel on the end, because again, I think they just wrote themselves into a corner with Harry as a character and setting him up the way they did with symbiote. And I didn't know what I wanted from the ending. I was like, well, I don't really want him to die because that's just a repeat of what we've done twice already. But like, if he survives, it kind of feels hollow too. So I don't really know. I think they did the best they could. You know, he's in a
I
coma.
think they kind of just made an in between at the end,
Yeah, they're just
basically,
like,
where
let's
he's
just
not really alive in a sense, but he's also not dead. So, and I kind of like the way they ended it because then it introduces more villains, and that I am kind of cool with because it definitely makes sense for how Norman would have reacted because he is that kind of person. He jumps to conclusions from what I could tell throughout all the story
yeah.
through the first game and all that. So I do like the way that they ended it. They definitely tried to make it seem like he was dead because, again, it did like kind of a repeat of like Peter on the ground, kind of like with Aunt May, and he's like, oh no, what the fuck? Like, you can't die. And then I do think it was kind of funny though that Miles just magically got a spark out of nowhere, and he's like, I got this, guys.
It's not magic.
He alive.
He's always had the fucking
Yeah, but he
electricity.
randomly got this specific spark in him. He's like, yeah.
I can do this.
And he's alive. So, it's whatever. I get it. Miles has his feelies with his, electric. So yeah, he brings him back, and then you continue to see Spider-Man that bring him out, and then obviously, Spider-Man's beat the shit, so he kind of like almost barely makes it to the thing. And you find Norman show up in his helicopter. He's, I swear to God, dude, he fucking flies a helicopter everywhere.
It's
like
only
his
one
business
city.
just got destroyed and everything, and yet he fucking knows exactly where to go with the helicopter every time.
I feel like he's like, hey, I gotta go around the block to pick up a fucking cheeseburger. Get in the chopper. Let's go. Get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Get to the
He
chopper.
just lands by the McDonald's, goes,
Yeah.
gets his burger, gets back in. Like, dude, what the hell? But basically, he thinks that it's because of Spider-Man's fault for basically putting him back into a very sick state to the point where he's very close to death.
It technically is.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's not really his fault.
But like, also, you gotta ask yourself, like, all right, Norman, you saw your son. He wasn't okay. He was.
Yeah, he turned into a monster that was going to take over the world, basically. Wanted to, at least.
But yeah, man.
And after all the men he got killed, I mean, I guess he doesn't have to pay him. That's how he lives. So he's like, sweet, I don't have to pay all those 30, 40 people that he just straight up murdered. So, but yeah, no, yeah, basically we get the little after credit scene and Green Goblin.
Dude, I love that they're gonna end it with the Goblin. I love that they're gonna end it
Which
with
I
the
was wondering if they
Goblin.
were ever gonna bring Green Goblin. That
You
was
have
enough.
to.
I'm like,
It's his
sweet, yeah.
signature between Venom and pretty much they've gone the big three: Doc Ock, Venom, Goblin. They've just done it in a different order than what we usually used to. Goblin's usually the first one. So, but man, I think that's so cool. I cannot wait for the Goblin. And like I said, with Craven kind of killing everyone off, we have like this reset in the universe. Like there's Goblin now, Martin Lee, but he's not a villain, and we don't have too many. We don't really have anybody else, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, it sets it up for the third game. I did think Doc Ock's line was super fucking Marvel cheesy ass writing, where it's like, "What are you writing?" And he just turns to the camera and says, "The final chapter." I was like, I didn't need that, but all right, cool. And there's even another. There's actually 3 fucking end credit scenes in this game. There's another end credit scene dealing with Miles and his uncle and all that moving in, which is kind of cool or whatever. Yeah, but that is the end credit scene, right? There's one at the end with Miles. No, I'm an idiot, dude. I misread the line. The final end credit scene is Miles in his apartment. How the fuck did I forget this? I'm a fake
Yeah,
a
he's talking
Spider-Man
about
fan.
where Spider Girl, I guess, is
That's
introduced.
not even fucking close to right. Get out of this
Okay.
podcast.
Who is it?
So it reveals that Cindy Moon is in this game, and Silk is going to be in the next game, which is probably outside of Spider-Gwen, my favorite female Spider-Man. I'll run down a little bit. The actual comics, which is doing it a little bit differently, it's definitely going towards Miles. In the actual comics, Silk is created from the exact same spider that bites Peter on the exact same day, and they have like this super deep connection that they literally can't stay away from each other. They end up like fucking all over New York City pretty much in the comics. They make out all the time. Silk is also super hot, so that's awesome. But yeah, she's a much darker spider character than we're used to, and it seems like they're setting up that Miles and Silk are going to be connected, and because it doesn't really make much sense for like a teenage Cindy Moon and Peter to be like highly connected in the same way, because that would be weird.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're gonna do the Silk and Miles Spider-Man moving forward. Oh, I completely forgot, dude. We are rushing the end of this, but that's okay. We're short on time here. Spider-Man retires at the end of the game, so and Logan is waving to me and also not talking. You mute it, Logan.
What's up?
I said, yeah, we forgot. We're rushing the end of this, but that's okay. Spider-Man retires. Peter retires pretty much. Obviously not forever, but he lets Miles take the reins for now, at least in between games. So, and yeah, that was Spider-Man. That wasn't the most logical way to do that, but we did what we could with the circumstances outside the podcast. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it as much. I absolutely love this game. It has its problems. It's not as perfect as the first game. Well, it's not as good as the first game in terms of like overall wise, but I think this is a fantastic story. It was a great way to tell the Venom story, and it's a great way to set up the future of the Spider-Man Insomniac trilogy, quadrilogy, whatever it is. There's random games thrown in here and there, but yeah, I can't wait for Spider-Man 3. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I'm excited for not only Spider-Man 3 but also Wolverine, and to see if there's in any way going to be a connection between them two, but we'll see.
I
Who
don't think
knows?
so. Yeah.
Probably not. But other than that, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Like again, I kind of agree that I definitely will say I still think the first one is better, but that doesn't mean this game isn't great. I still thought it was really, really good. I think it uh uh what?
Nothing. I was waiting for you to
Oh,
finish your
oh,
sentence. I was
oh,
rubbing
I
my
was just saying,
eyes.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, it's great. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. We're going to go now to Around the Point. This is going to be a quick Around the Point. We'll just run through some of the things, guys. But we're going to go now to Around the Point, where we here at the Expanse Point go around the video game world and give you the news, that you know about. All right, number one on the docket. We've gotten word that a new Far Cry multiplayer game is in the works, and it's going to be, you guessed it, an extraction shooter. This comes from Insider Gaming. A second Far Cry game is in development, and it's an extraction-based multiplayer shooter, completely separate from Far Cry 7, as Insider Game has learned. As reported earlier in the year, there were 2 games in production. Those 2 games are split off. Both games are now completely separate entities, having morphed into a Far Cry expansion-based multiplayer experience. It's understood that the Far Cry multiplayer project has changed scope several times over its several-year development cycle, with Ubisoft now set on the game being an extraction-based shooter set in the fictional Alaskan setting named... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. The game's lore revolves around the player being lured into the region with the promise of freedom, only to discover a land of chaos with trust between people being virtually non-existent. In true Far Cry fashion, players will need to search the environment for resources in order to survive. Resources include killing animals for leather to make gear, finding chemicals to make gadgets, harvesting plants for medical supplies, finding weapon parts, and bullet castings for weapons and ammo. The game will also feature a hideout, which is your base of operations, and your safe space to stash your gathered weapons, gear, and more. It's understood that this new Far Cry game is not only a solo experience, but can be a team-based experience with teammates sharing the same hideout and loot. As expected with an extraction-based shooter, the game loop is focused on gathering gear, leveling up, and purchasing perks. Although sources were unable to deep dive into what perks these entailed, it is said that they are directly tied to the leveling system. It goes on and on and on explaining the game and what it is. This game is apparently rumored to be scheduled for April 2025. So, what do you think? Are you excited or no?
No.
Really?
No.
Interesting. I thought you
Dude,
might...
they have a literal multiplayer only game coming out, and it's called X Defiant. And I know it's not made by the same group, but they can barely even make a multiplayer game. And honestly, dude, there's not the only multiplayer game I've seen that's actually come out from Ubisoft that has been solid is Rainbow Six Siege. And that was a long time ago. And that's the only one that's actually stuck. So, as much as I would love to see it, I doubt it's going to come out and be good. So, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they have a new team that's doing it. I don't know. But it would be cool, though, because of the destruction and the fire and all that. But who knows?
I don't know. I think it sounds cool. I've never really delved into a fully extraction-based shooter. The first one I was planning to do is Fair Games coming out next year. And then Marathon, but Marathon has been delayed.
We played extraction shooter.
We played an extraction mode. We played extraction shooter.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same thing.
And I liked it. I actually really liked the Call of Duty extraction mode. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. And a whole game around that with a story progression and all that tied into it. I'm fairly excited about that, which I think this could be cool. But I don't know. I guess we will see. All right. Next story. This is going to be a fun one. Logan's going to love this one. The day before. Yeah. Delayed again. Fantastic said. I've discovered that's their name. Fantastic. Not fantastic or fantastic. Fantastic. Anyway.
Fantastic.
This first line. The highly anticipated and controversial post-apocalyptic open-world MMO The Day Before has been delayed once again, this time to December 7th, 2023. The same date as Avatar. Wonder which one I'm going to get. But the game will now only release in early access form on Steam, with no word on the official console release date. The developer Fantastic shared this update alongside a 3-minute trailer on November 1st. This is what they had to say when asked about why it will release in early access. He says, "It will be early access on Steam since this is our first huge game, and there may be unforeseen circumstances, like the fact that I still don't think this game actually exists. The full version release will happen when we are certain this is the best version of the game possible, and we believe that player feedback and involvement will greatly contribute to achieving this goal." The developer also went as far to confirm it's won its trademark dispute over the Day Before name, and said the Steam page has already been restored to Valve and will open very soon. As most of you know, the Steam page was taken down all the way back in January when the developers apparently forgot to apply for copyright and whatever. So, dude, I am so interested in what the hell this game is and how it is. There is this air around this game where I just don't know, man. What is this? You know?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see like just anything about it. Like I just want to see real gameplay of it where it's scripted, it's not anything like it's not a specific area that they built just to show a demo. I want someone hands-on to be playing this game and actually see how it is. Yeah, I am also interested because I really don't have a lot of faith in this game. I think that's pretty easy to say. I mean, if you had to put all bets on the table to say if this game isn't going to do well, you could easily put all chips in because it's like I don't have a lot of faith in it. But I think because of all the controversy,
I think it'll launch well.
I think it sparked. I think it will.
I think it will launch well because of all the shit that's around it. I think people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, yeah, all the controversy is honestly kind of helping them because honestly, it's making everyone so interested in it to the point that I think anyone's willing to see what it's going to be like. And I am curious to see what this game's going to be like at launch because it's so confusing. What the fuck you do in this game? They don't explain anything. I mean, shit, they literally have been coming out with videos recently where they're driving Lamborghinis through a fucking abandoned freaking city. What? Why?
You see the
Why?
meme. You see the meme. What?
What? Like, I'm just confused.
Well, I guess we will find out on December 7th. By the way, I'm definitely buying Avatar, not this game.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not either.
Yeah. All right, our next story. Those fucktards over at Insomniac are tickling my balls once again. This story is actually something entirely different, where a prototype for a 2005 developed Daredevil game titled The Man Without Fear was supposed to come to PS2, but was then canceled. This guy called The Hidden Palace has revived the game in some way, and you can jump through a shit ton of hoops if you want to check it out, the prototype, and play it for yourself. But the interesting thing comes in connection to this. Brian Intithar, I said that wrong, sorry, who is the creative director behind Marvel Spider-Man 1 and Marvel Spider-Man 2, on a SpoilerCast episode of Beyond, that's the IGN PlayStation-focused podcast, was asked about the removal of the Daredevil Easter egg in Spider-Man 2 and also the re-inclusion of it. If you can go, you can find the offices of Matt Murdock and all that. When asked about all that in connection to this story come out, this is what this little fuck had to say. He said, "That's a good question. Stay tuned. Good find, though. Motherfuckers, if Insomniac is developing a Daredevil game, I'm going to lose my goddamn shit."
Also, I don't know if you realize this either. At the end of, because, this is more spoiler talk, at the end of doing the Sandman thing, literally, well, at least it's Miles when I completed it. He said, we will have to get our lawyer friends to hopefully get him out. And I'm like,
these motherfuckers, dude.
I'm telling you, that makes sense. I was definitely see Daredevil.
I was theorizing this with Andrew off when I was writing the script, and I was like, I can see how this lines up with Insomniac kind of cadence, because they put out 2 games in back-to-back years and usually take a year off or whatever. What if we get Spider-Man 2 this year, Wolverine next year, if they hit that mark, they take a break in 2025, then they come out with fucking either Spider-Man 3 or Daredevil in 2026, and then Spider-Man 3 in 2027. Dude, you want to talk about one of the greatest generations for a developer of all time. I don't know if there's another one that tops that. Like, you talk about a generation, you got Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, Daredevil, Spider-Man 3. What a generation, dude. That's insane. Now, if they are able to pull that off, who the hell knows if they are. Maybe one of them games get pushed and all that. But God, dude, I've been wanting a Daredevil game for so long.
Dude, that'd
So
be
long.
so fucking cool. Just imagine the cool things they could do with that, especially with him being blind, dude. There'd be some. Ooh, I could just. I really, really hope they do it because, like, again, yeah, I thought it was really cool after beating all of the freaking the Sandman things when they brought that up because, like, I know for a fact that was definitely them saying something about Daredevil because clearly, who else would they be talking about lawyer friends about? So, yeah.
These motherfuckers, dude. These motherfuckers. There's no way they can pull this off. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that they can make this many fucking games and they all be generally great. Like I
Yeah.
just in modern video game, if they can do it, there is literally no excuse for games taking 5-6 years to make.
Yes.
These guys made 6 games during one generation, and they're all great. If they all come out, obviously, and they're all great.
And
Two
you
of
know,
them
too.
being new IPs, one of them being a long-awaited sequel to an established IP, and the other two being the cappers to the trilogy that they set up in at the end of the previous generation. Like I said, there's no developer that can put that resume of a singular generation together. I thought Naughty Dog's PS3 generation was amazing with Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and The Last of Us. That's a great fucking generation for that studio as well. But I feel like Insomniacs, if they can pull all that off, if it's even real. Honestly, if you take Daredevil out of that, you got Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, Spider-Man 3. That's by itself a fucking phenomenal generation. But man, take my money. That's all I gotta say. If this is true, just I'm feeding you cash. I don't even care at this point, dude. I'm just handing you money. What do you think, man? Do you think it's real? And two, do you think they can pull it off?
Hmm. I am more curious to see. I'll be more. Hmm. Yes, I do think they could. Yeah, but I don't know if we're gonna be getting something like that for a long while, for sure. So, because like Wolverine's gonna about to come out. We gotta really wait and see about that. That's something I'm more curious about, honestly, than anything. Because I'm really just curious. Because like in my opinion, they never really made much of a gory game, and you're playing Wolverine. Wolverine has to be pretty brutal. I'm curious about that. But I'm also
I
hoping if they are
mean,
going to make a Daredevil game, I hope they make it pretty brutal too,
they
because
did.
Daredevil isn't a very clean person. Like he's not a whack whack whack. Like he beats the shit out of people.
They could. I mean, they did bite Craven's head off in this game, so
True,
yeah.
yes, yeah, but
And
like
there was blood.
I
There was
feel
more
like
blood than any
Wolverine,
MCU movie.
there better be some straight up like when I slice at somebody, I'm slicing off a piece of them. Like
All right, we're back once again. Anyway, can they pull it off, and is it real? You said yes, they can pull it off, but is it real?
yes.
You think this is actually a thing? You think Insomniac is currently making a Daredevil game, or in the
I don't know
beginning
about
stages?
currently.
In the beginning
Yeah,
stages of making one.
I think they have an idea for it, but I think they're more trying to see, I don't know, where it goes. Because who knows? Like, I don't know, maybe they want to just make this Wolverine game, finish with Spider-Man, and maybe go somewhere farther away. I don't know.
Here's
But
what's
I do
even
think
good.
there is definitely some kind of like they're interested in it for sure.
Here's the thing that's more interesting. It feels like to me, Sony courted, sorry, Insomniac courted Marvel to make Spider-Man. They said yes. Sony said, okay, we want it exclusive. And then they went ahead and bought Insomniac. And then Spider-Man came out and everyone loved it. And Marvel just said, here you go, fucking do whatever you want. Here's our characters, make the games. And I don't know, man. I mean, we're getting the Iron Man game. We're getting the Black Panther game from EA. We're also getting a Black Panther Captain America game from Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig. Um, and dude, I think Marvel is just fucking trouncing because historically we've had DC video games. And now we're getting
Yeah.
Marvel games. I mean, we've always had Spider-Man games, to be fair, but I don't know, man. Props to Insomniac, dude. They're on a whole nother level than anybody else. I have no clue what's going on over there, dude. They seem to understand something about making video games that almost nobody else understands anymore. Not even some of my favorite developers. Like, it just seems like they know what to do and everything is locked down. The leadership, the development, the artistry, the technology, everything just seems to be completely streamlined in a way that the entire industry just wishes they could achieve. Is your computer blowing up?
No, that's something else over there.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one, man. If they do pull it off, I'm gonna go suck someone's dick. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I'm losing my shit over here, man. All right. You know what? We're gonna skip Capcom. They're making a big game. No one fucking cares. I do care, but we're gonna go ahead and skip that because that story was kind of laissez-faire anyway. So we're gonna go to just the wrap up here. Why are you creating an event? What are you doing? Logan's having issues anyway. Anyway, so the PlayStation Plus Essentials and Xbox Game Pass Wave 1s have been announced for November. Xbox Game Pass Wave 1 goes like this. Thirsty Suitors on November 2nd. Football Manager 2024 on PC and console on November 6th. Dungeons 4 on November 9th. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name on November 9th. Wild Hearts on November 9th. Spirit Tea on November 13th. And Coral Island on November 14th. We will get the rest of the month later. I guess I'll just combine this with PlayStation Plus. And PlayStation Plus Essential games. So these are the games, if you subscribe to the lowest tier of PlayStation Plus, you get a chance to download 3 games each and every month. This month's games are Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, Dragon Ball The Breakers, and Aliens Fire Team. Kind of a shit month for both of them, huh? Like,
well, for me, I've never played Mafia 2, so I'm actually kind of excited for Mafia 2. And I don't own it, so sweet.
The Definitive Edition is garbage, so
also,
have fun.
Aliens is actually a pretty cool game. So, I mean, that's actually not a bad one.
Well, my bad. Maybe PlayStation is a good one.
It's kind of like Aliens Fire Team Elite, kind of like a Left 4 Dead-esque kind of thing where you have to level up and everything. It's kind of like a lot like well, you didn't play World War Z, so never mind. I can't really give you that comparison. But it's fun with friends, and hey, it's going to be free. So if you ever want to try it, we could try it. So I'm not gonna lie, that's the only reason why I'm still subscribed to PlayStation Plus, because they actually have been pretty good these last 3 months with giving me some really good games. So
okay. Well, never mind. It's only slow on the Xbox month, I guess. But by the way, Mafia 3 Definitive Edition is kind of a shit port of that game, so have fun with it.
Mafia 3?
2. Mafia 2 Definitive Edition.
2. Yeah.
It's buggy as fuck. I played it last year, if you remember.
Yes. Yeah.
It's fucking terrible, honestly. It's like the worst version of the game I've played. And I played 3 different versions of the game. But I guess it's still the game, so you can still play it.
Yeah. Again, I played Mafia 1. I played a lot of Mafia 3. I really liked Mafia 1. I didn't like the price tag I paid for it, but I liked it a lot. But Mafia 2, I'm pretty excited about trying out.
All right. Well, we're trying to speed through this. We apologize, everyone out there, but, it's our show, so suck it.
Yeah.
We're going to go now to LTR, also known as Let's Talk Reviews, where we go through the games that came out and give you the scores that they got. Jasant got an 81. Quantum Air, the big PlayStation and PC exclusive, came out and made headwaves at 45. EA Sports WRC got an 83. Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story, 78. RoboCop Rogue City coming in with a solid 71. Star Ocean, the second R, 85. The Talos Principle 2, 88. Thirsty Suitors, 80. And WarioWare.
God, that even threw me.
74.
My dyslexia really hit hard when you said that.
Let me tell you what.
Like, oh my God.
You know how bad I'm kicking myself in the nuts right now? Because I was trying to decide whether to pick up on Fantasy Critics City Skyline 2 or the Talos Principle 2. And I was like, there's no way City Skyline 2 isn't great, right? It got a 74. Talos Principle got an 88.
Yeah, because straight up City Skyline said, yeah, our game is definitely very broken, but we'll fix it later.
Yeah, we
just have to release it. And like that's a really bad mentality. But okay, sure, release it. Wow, what a surprise. Hard.
The fact that it's still got a 74 tells me how amazing of a game it is. It just doesn't fucking run.
Dude, I still think the quantum area thing is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
I have no clue what it even is.
Oh, so basically, So I watched some things about like making fun of like fanboys and that. And literally the Quantum Era was basically completely built. And by the way, you should look up gameplay for this game. It basically barely has gameplay. And it also is the funniest and shittiest thing I've seen. Not the shittiest game of the year. Definitely. We know Kong is definitely the shittest game this year. But I at least give Quantum Era that. It's definitely no Kong. But it literally stated when they were making it, they said we could not bring Quantum Error to the Xbox because of the PS5's pure SSD power. And basically, what they were trying to do was appease PlayStation fanboys. And so a bunch of PlayStation fanboy channels out there started praising this game. They're like, oh my God, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. Xbox sucks and all this. And, well, as you can look at the score, I would say it's definitely not great. And it basically the devs are getting a lot of shit for it, and they're like, you guys just don't understand. You just don't understand. Like it's like old games. It doesn't have to explain everything and all that. Yeah, just go look it up. It's awful.
I'm
Like
looking at
it's fucking awful.
I'm looking at the. Hey, baby girl, what's up? Special guest appearance by
Hi,
Kona.
Kona.
Hi, Kona.
Oh.
She seems sad. I've been away for so long. Well, Logan's falling
Even
asleep.
though RoboCop though did get a 71, I've heard a lot of good things about it. And
Here's the
again,
thing.
it's a AA game, and I heard it's very, very good at like actually keeping close to the material that it's built off of. And I'm kind of excited to try it out.
Here's the
little
thing.
bit.
We've been poisoned with the fantasy critic because to us, anything under 80 is a disappointment. And a
Yeah.
71 is still a great game. It's
Yeah.
still a good game. And we on this show has been poisoned by Fantasy Critic. But I want to read you the first line of IGN's reviews for Quantum Air. This is funny.
Yeah.
Quantum Air is the best modern example I can think of, and when it comes to a game that attempts to do so much and yet fails at almost all of it.
Yeah.
Quantum Air, also
Yep.
known as the reason to buy a PS5, apparently, to PS5 fanboys on the internet.
Yep.
I guess I'm a fake fanboy because I didn't even know what the fuck this game is. Like, I had no clue.
Yeah, no, I didn't. So again, like, yeah, I randomly saw it pop up, and there was like a bunch of. It wasn't like super headlines or anything, but there was some channels that popped up like news on that, and I was curious about it. And yeah, it's this game called Quantum Era where they literally were basically built by PlayStation fanboys, basically because they said that because of the SSD power, which by the way, SSDs do not give you power to play games. That's not how it works.
It gives you more graphical headroom, but that's about it.
It basically just helps with loading more than anything, and helps with moving assets around. It's faster, and yes, the PS5's SSD is good at that, but that doesn't mean that it is inherently more powerful than anything else. And that's not me hating on PS5. I'm just saying that these devs are fucking stupid. And basically from the beginning, it already looked like shit from what I saw like on the trailers and that. And now all these fanboys are like really pissed off because they're like, oh man, like they were all literally posting all the time about how good it is, and then now it's out. And I could definitely tell you 45 is not a good score. That is, I think that's probably the easiest thing I've ever had to say. So yeah,
Depends.
there you go.
If it's out of 50, it's a great score. Unfortunately, it's not out of 50, it's out of 100.
Yeah, if it was 50, it would at least been average.
I'm gonna convince my parents my 45 in Spanish is a great grade.
Yes.
I don't have a 45 in Spanish, don't worry. I do have a C, though, which is a little annoying, but whatever, I guess. All right, well, this brings us to Out This Week, where we go through the chants, and Logan's gone again, but I'm just going to keep powering on, because fuck it, I don't care at this point. Where we go through the games that you get a chance to play each and every week. I need to do LSD or something. I don't know what's happening over here. Anyway,
all right, so Out This Week, everybody.
November 6th, The Invincibles comes out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Invincibles?
It's a game. On November 7th,
Yeah.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 comes out on PS5, 4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Salt and Sacrifice on Nintendo Switch. On November 8th, Berserk Recharge. Did I forget the K in Berserk?
Yeah,
I think I might have forgot the K.
Dyslexia keeps making me think this is Berserk.
It might be Berserk recharge for PS5, 4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC, but it could not be. I don't know. Risk of Rain returns on Switch and PC. On November 9th, Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name on PS5, 4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And then on November 10th, the big, the bad, the almighty 4 out of 10 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 hits PS5, 4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. I will not be playing this one. Not because of any political reasons, like the reasons I stopped playing Modern Warfare 2, but because this game looks like ass.
Yes.
I play Call of Duty for the campaign, so.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this either. Let's see if Nickelodeon All Stars 2 actually ends up,
Everybody says it's
better than
much
the first
better.
one.
Everyone says it's much better than the first one.
Yeah, well, they kind of screwed everybody on the first one, so I don't think they should be expecting a lot of people to be purchasing the second one.
Hey, I got it for free, so I loved it. It was a great 1 hour.
There you go.
I literally played it for like an hour and then never played it and then never touched it again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the hell out of here before Logan's computer catches on fire. What do you say about that? Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. We apologize for the choppy nature of this one. I'll say that one, but maybe we'll try again next week. Everyone who's either been watching or listening, we just want to take this time as always to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your support, we could not be doing what we're attempting to do here at the Experience Point. But please help us to continue to grow by telling everyone out there that you know we have a slightest appreciation for all things pop culture, that they have some new friends waiting to talk all sorts of fandoms with them. We would greatly appreciate it. Mr. Birdman, any last words before you're gone forever from the face of the earth?
Everybody, thank you for coming by. Hopefully my camera doesn't turn back off or my mic. But thank you for sticking by. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I know it was kind of a mess. A lot of pausing and going and pausing and going. But, yeah. Give us your thoughts below. You can spoil all you want, because this is a spoiler one. So I guess I'm sorry if people want to see the news this one, but we did promise you could spoil down below. So I'm sorry for the people that want to hear the news.
Yeah.
Yes.
We spent all of 16 minutes on the news. Great. Also, once again, I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. Once again, thanks everyone for listening and following along with us. This has been, unfortunately, another episode of the XP Podcast, brought to you by us here at the Experience Point. I hope everyone has a great week, and please come back next week if you stick with us. If this is your first episode, I'm sorry. It's usually better, but
this is probably the most, like, the roughest episode we've had, for sure.
This one's worse than when I had to run off a fucking hotspot to get the episode up.
Yes.
This is way worse than that, but alright. Sorry, Andrew, if you're still here. This one wasn't that great for you, but we'll come back next week and do better. Anyway, we'll see everyone later. Bye.
Bye.